Hi, it is with a heavy heart I have some unfortunate news to bring to you all before this episode begins. This month's episode has suffered from some audio issues. We record our audio via Discord, and on the weekend of recording, sadly Discord had some technical issues with their servers. So, as a disclaimer, we thought it would be a good idea to let you know the audio this month required a lot of editing as the server introduced a lot of micro stutters. I've spent around 8 hours editing out the worst bits, but only up to the 1 hour and 30 minute point. Normally I could edit the entire show in around 6 hours, so rather than dump the rest of the episode, we decided to leave in the unedited parts from the 1 hour and 30 minute point. The audio is a bit choppy, but kind of listenable. We shall re-answer listeners' questions on the next episode. And also, I believe at this present time, 2 people have put their names forward for the next season of the Year of Shame Challenge, which is to begin January 2026. So if you are thinking about or wanting to take the challenge next year, feel free to contact any of us, perhaps. Leave a message in the Year of Shame Challenge Facebook group, so let us know. But once again, sorry about the audio issues, but we hope you all still enjoy the show. And with that, we shall be back in December for your listening pleasure, and let the fun begin.
Script started. Dependencies loaded. Booting Series 13 of the Year of Shame Challenge. Please wait.
Hi, and welcome to this month's episode of Year of Shame Challenge, Season 13, Episode 8. It's been a very rainy Friday, but now we're on to Saturday. We haven't had to jump on no arc or anything, so we're here to record for your listening pleasure. We've got Brian. How are you doing, Brian?
Hello, I'm good. Glad to be back.
And of course, we've got Ben. How are you doing there, Ben?
Morning.
It's been so rainy, hasn't it? I mean, they talked about it in the news as if it was going to be, floods everywhere. Perhaps there's some parts of England that are flooded, but we didn't seem to get flooded, but we are up on a bit of a hill. How did you do there, Ben? Did you see it bad? Or?
We're on a floodplain apparently when we were told that we bought the house, and there's a river that's slightly higher than us, sort of further uptown. So if that does flood and go over its banks, it does do a bit of damage to the town. But I haven't seen anything. It did pretty well yesterday. I went to go and pick my son up from school when it was absolutely torrential, and there was effectively a river running down the road next to me. That still was a little weird to see, but other than that, we've been fine. I've just got very soggy doing that, and the Lidl's run.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, they do say if you end up in like a bit of deep water in the car, the best thing is just to keep going, because if you stop and it goes up your exhaust pipe, serious damage is meant to happen, allegedly. But it's never happened to me. You just got to keep going. And Brian, you've had it in a different situation. You've been over there in Japan. I believe you've been suffering with earthquakes.
Yeah, we had some earthquakes here. Where the big earthquake was back in 2011 in Fukushima, or was that effectively Fukushima? They had another massive earthquake there, and we had warnings of tsunami as well. Thankfully, none arrived. They were expecting it. It's crazy when it happens. Get away from the sea or from the coast. Quite a lot of property on the coast is dead cheap, unfortunately. Some of the property I want is along the coast. Yeah, it looks brilliant. The views are gorgeous, but then there's going to be that one day when you don't want to see you don't be anywhere near the sea. But thankfully it's okay.
I wonder what the insurance is like. Is it a general thing over in Japan where house insurance, and in England everything's house insurance and bit contents insurance? Is it a similar scenario over there? Are they not that fussed about that kind of thing?
When Fukushima happened, all these houses got destroyed, especially around Fukushima. But the insurance companies came out and said if the house is unlivable, we'll help. So houses got bent or twisted, but they're still livable inside. They still have a roof on it, so you're okay. You could live, so they wouldn't cover for that. If your house is totally ruined, they were supposed to pay out, but there was so much damage done they couldn't do it. So the government was supposed to help, and they helped quite a bit. But a lot of people ended up living in prefab houses because they just pushed them up as quickly as possible. You get your house insurance, you have your contents and all that, but it doesn't include or doesn't cover earthquakes. You can pay extra for it to do it because it's just too expensive. So most people, they're going to get screwed if there's a massive earthquake. But houses, how do you put this? Houses are not as expensive as in the UK. You pay for the land, so your land should still be there, and people just tend to rebuild houses every 30 years anyway. So a lot of the houses are wooden, they get damaged by the weather, they rebuild. We have a new thing in the past 10 years, earthquake houses. They're steel and cement or steel and whatever, but they have tiny windows, really maybe a foot wide and maybe 2 feet tall. So you'll see like rows of these all on the house. It's just make sure they've got structural rigidity and that nothing should happen if there's an earthquake. But I don't know. It is, yeah. They are dark inside.
Yeah, imagine. I was about to say that can't be nice to live in. I mean, it's safe, but it's like living in a box.
Yeah, it's a bit weird. I don't know. I'd like to buy a house, but if you buy a house here, chances are you're not going to have it for very long, especially if they're due to have the mega quake at some point. But yeah, so I think better best is to live in an apartment. But some of the older apartments, the earthquake proofing isn't as good as the newer ones. So the newer ones are really, really expensive. But it's difficult if you want to buy a place over here. Let's put it like that.
I think it's land's at a premium anyway, isn't it? It's not a big country, so everything is so built up that everything goes up rather than out. So if you want to land for a house, I assume it's kind of insane money versus having an apartment, regardless in the grand scheme.
Yeah, exactly. A lot of people have moved away. They're having the whole thing where people are moving away from small villages anyway. Small villages are dying, they're all moving to the cities. So everybody wants to live near a train station in a tall apartment block that's being earthquake proofed. So if you want to live in the countryside, you can get property really, really cheap. There are villages that say if you rent there for 5 years, they'll give you a house because the house is going spare. They just want people to move into the area and bring back, especially if you've got young children, bring back life into the towns.
Yeah, ruralised areas, yeah.
Yeah, but if you live in those, you're like 2 hours away from the nearest hospital. You could be an hour and a half from the nearest supermarket. Is there may only be 30 people or 50 people, maybe 100 people living in the town or in that area, and you can't have the same type of supermarkets near it.
So get on with it. I found it funny. It's just like it's all twisted, but it's kind of okay. So you could drive a car that's bent in half because the engine still works, sort of thing. But
our apartment block here is earthquake proof reasonably, but after the 2011 earthquake, the front door doesn't close properly. Like it doesn't seal perfectly. The windows are slightly off, so one of them we had to come out and fix the window because the draft coming through it. Where my mother-in-law used to live was actually it's all slightly skewed, so it's not, the windows aren't properly, well, the hole where the window isn't properly square or properly rectangular. It's slightly twisted, bent. So I don't know. Where my mother-in-law lived after the earthquake, the big one, she couldn't open her windows because they're all just jammed, and they had to go and take out the windows and refit them. So I don't know. Hopefully insurance will cover that.
You prefer that worked, and it's just like my windows don't work, my house is in one piece kind of situ, isn't it? I mean, I suppose it's it's worked.
Well, my wife's cousin's other house, their floor is now slanted because of the earthquake. So if you put a marble down, marble will just roll across the floor to the other side of the room. It's just, but yeah, you just have to take it. And they've no choice, so they just accept the way things are.
See, 8 episodes in, you probably think we should be asking Brian questions first about weather and stuff before we ask these questions, to be honest, Paul. It's just like kind of, oh no, it's rained versus, there's an earthquake and my house is twisted. You're okay, I'm sorry.
You mentioned ARC at the start there, but I think you talked about ARC raiders, because we just talked about that earlier. And then realised you got rain there. I didn't know what it was like.
No, but I now want ARC raiders even more, thank you.
Yeah.
That's it. It's in every game as mine at the moment, the word arc or whatever. They all seem to be enjoying it. Of course, we can't play it, but it does seem to be getting the right kind of reception for sure. Does the arc raiders?
It does indeed.
I really hope it keeps the interest going because I'd like to play it. So I hope to go next year.
If it does make it till next year and all the interest doesn't drop off, which often can happen with these live service games, all of a sudden, whoosh, it's gone within 2 months or whatever, well, then you haven't wasted your money at least. So
yeah, that's it.
I'm just firing up Steam in the background to see the concurrent playlist. How it's actually, you can do that on there.
Is it it's on all consoles?
It's cross-platform. Yeah, I mean, the finals is cross-platform as well. I guess they're doing the same thing. It's also really loud. Sorry, where are we looking at concurrent players? I'm sure it says somewhere.
It usually does when you go onto Steam. It'll tell you how many players are online or whatever.
Total reviews in all languages, 83,467. Very positive.
Yeah.
So very positive reviews out of 83,000 is 58. That's pretty impressive. Awards, Game of the Year, 9 out of 10, 9.5, 9, 10, 10, 9, 9. Yeah, I mean, it's a standard game. Looks okay. Stop looking. You've got to wait 6 weeks. You can do this. Stop rocking.
Yeah, that's true.
1,000.
Add to your wish list. I'll walk away.
How many were playing again, Brian?
207,000 currently playing.
Wow, that's pretty big numbers.
That's not bad.
And that'll just be on Steam. That would include PlayStation or Xbox.
It's just Steam. Yeah, that's not bad. Not bad.
Yeah, good for them.
There you go. For alternate, there's currently 8,717 players on Steam playing the finals at this point, which is their old game. So that shows how much people have shifted to it.
Another good barometer is if you go onto Twitch and you take a look, you can do it from like ascending to descending on the amount of players on any particular game at this particular time. And that's usually a good barometer as how popular something really is.
Yeah.
So yeah, if a lot of people are on Twitch streaming it as well, that's another good sign. Talking of multiplayer games, which is, they've meant to have just updated player, is it Player Unknown? Player Unknown might be the wrong name. What they call it?
PUBG.
Yeah, come on. Yeah, PUBG.
PUBG, yeah. PUBG, they just updated that, so it's got a PlayStation 5 optimized mode. And I was actually watched a little bit of a stream of it, and yeah, it looks great. I used to enjoy that. It had a good sense of tension, did PUBG. But I guess like with most games, it's kind of like being surpassed a little bit. People have dropped off of it. But yeah, it still looks to be fairly popular.
Battle Royale bandwagon, isn't it? That's the only thing that came out over the last 4 to 5 years is just ever improving versions of the same format sort of thing to a degree. But obviously, it had a bits to it. But I mean, PUBG was one of those ones that was it very, very close to Fortnite, wasn't it? The same sort of time period from memory.
Yeah.
But Fortnite was kind of your comic violence, if you want to call it that. I imagine they tried to. And then the PUBG was very much, it aims more at the realism side of it. Okay, it wasn't that much realism. It was still bloody ridiculous at points from what I played of it. But it was far closer to reality than Fortnite was. So I think that's what kind of gave the two sides of it, maybe.
Yeah, I used to play that, and I remember when it came to console, but I used to play it on PC. I think I paid about £8 for it or something at the time, on via Steam, and I used to enjoy that. Really good. I mean, if you are going to sit at a desk and play any sort of game, it really has to be them kinds of games. Those big multiplayer games, your keyboard and mouse are essential. I mean, you're just going to get absolutely smashed if you're on there with a controller. Them games are just not built for that kind of thing.
No, I played with the guys I played the finals with. I'm on PC, so is Dan, one of my friends. Another guy, Josh, he plays it on PlayStation 5, and he is exceptional. Like, he is unbelievable compared to me. And does insane amounts of, like, assists, eliminations in matches, achieving stuff. And he's like, I think he's now platinum on the actual ranked stuff, which is unbelievable amounts of time and effort. I'm nowhere near. I think I'm bronze, bottom of at best, sort of thing. But he's playing on a console with a controller and still does phenomenal. Really, really does.
It's so hard though, isn't it? When you're on the controller, it does seem so difficult to be able to do it. You know, you just can't. The reactions are just not quite there the same, are they?
It's the sensitivity side of it, isn't it? A mouse, you are physically lobbing that thing left to right, sort of thing, whereas you're just relying on the polling rate of an analog stick. Otherwise, aren't you, for your positioning? But I mean, they must have a way of doing it as an algorithm that kind of makes it as close to mouse as possible, or polling rate is times whatever it is for a controller versus a mouse or something. But yeah, I mean, he's not slow by any standards whatsoever. So yeah, I kind of wish I could be as good as he is at it.
I think though that some of them actually give you some kind of aim assist on console as well, though.
You can turn it on. Yes, there is. It is there. Actually, it's there for the PC version of it as well. But I mean, not being funny, finals as great as it still is, it is still littered with cheats who have the auto aiming and stuff and things anyway. So I mean, you don't need it. It's one of those things. But if the idea is you learn the weapons like you do in most of those games, obviously. But adapt for recoil, you adapt for like reload times, fire times, all those sort of things. So you kind of it's become less of a thing. Auto aim seems like it's just removes the fun from it. I imagine, to be honest, for a great deal of stuff. And people are so good at it, they don't need it.
Yeah. That's the problem, isn't it? I mean, it's nice. I remember on Fortnite to change that where they introduced it. When you first sign up for that now, they've actually got like bots and such like that you play against, which is nice because it gives you that, like, you can build the confidence up, because there's nothing worse than going into one of these games and just being obliterated countless times. I mean, it's soul destroying. You just don't get a chance to even like throw a few bullets at these guys. It's bam, 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 and you're dead. So it is nice to have like those, build you into the game, build you up a little bit so you can get a little bit of confidence, because it's too easy to just turn these games off, which is a shame.
One game that did it right, sadly, it lasted about 5 minutes as a release game before EA killed it, was that game Rocket Arena they bought out. I think it was like 2-3 years ago. There was a big noise about it coming out. It was a multiplayer, like arena combat game. The idea was quite small arenas, but everyone had effectively rocket launchers as their main weapons in some way, shape, or form with a different styling or character design or whatever it was. But they had a model on that where you would play against bots, and they would be either continuously appearing like a swarm type thing, or you would play against them with different difficulties. And it's one of those things. I'm not great at first person or arena combat games, but it really helped to basically learn the dynamics and the mechanics of the game. And when I actually played online, I got really quite good at it, which is frustrating. It's one of the very few games that was an arena game that I got decent at and could actually just do amazingly well. And then they killed the servers on it because they didn't get enough people playing it, which was frustrating. And that was crossplay as well, which was decent. So that kind of...
There was another one that came out around Fortnite time. And if you got shot, like a lot of these games, you end up on the floor and you can sort of like, limp away and hope that someone's going to come along and revive you or whatever. And instead of you dying or limping away, it'd turn you into a chicken. And then you got the chance to sort of like run away. And if you'd run away for long enough so you couldn't catch you as a chicken. I can't remember the name of the game, but it was a bit World of Warcrafty looking, all the graphics.
I remember the chickeny bit. The chickeny bit I remember.
Yeah.
What
is that?
I cannot remember the name of the game.
Okay. A guy that I used to listen to his podcast, unfortunately he's passed away now. I used to listen to his podcast, I can't remember his name as well. Cranky Toz used to be a Cranky Gamers. He used to play it all the time and he swear blind that it was a fantastic game. He used to do quite a bit of streaming on Twitch. So yeah, good. And it did look good. I can't remember if I played it. I'm sure I played it maybe on PlayStation or something, but it was one of them games again where, of course, they've only got so much finances to throw at it. I mean, look at that. Amazon have decided they're ending there.
Which I think it's not common of it, but yeah, they're RPG, isn't it?
Yeah, they're big RPG, and they've only just sort of like updated it kind of fairly recently, brought it to PlayStation, etc. And they've got, I wouldn't quite say an infinitive amount of money, but I dare say they've got plenty of money if they wanted to keep it alive. So it really must have fallen off of a bit of a cliff. But from what I was reading on Steam, the general complaint about that game was once you'd done like the main story and all the rest of it, there was very little else to go back into to enjoy and do. There was no like end game fun to like relive. But they said when they cancelled it, they'd actually, people were saying, well, you've kind of just fixed it and made it all right, and we've all been really enjoying it. Now you've listened to us. Now you're getting rid of it. So yeah, but you got to be careful jumping on boards with these multiplayer games, as often you can be left in a few months' time with just no one's playing it anymore. So which is a shame.
On release date sort of things when they first started doing that. I played it, and I think I spent money on some coins on it to be able to get like an expansion pass. I think it was like a tenner, but I didn't spend anything more than that on it. But it's a shame. I really just looked a couple of minutes ago. It's been delisted. It doesn't exist anymore. You can't go. I've tried actually bizarrely. I installed it and tried to log on. It won't even let you play against bots because it still use their server, I guess, for intelligence or whatever. But I just looked online, and Electronic Arts still have a working website for it. I can see it, but it's there. All the latest information on Rocket Arena that doesn't exist anymore. So it's been dead for over a year and a half, but their website's still up, telling you about the updates that are coming.
What's the other Rocket one? Rocket League. That's super popular still. That's some games just seem to have the legs, don't they? I mean, Fortnite. I mean, that's a license to print money now, surely. I mean, they're selling you digital. I mean, that is the only thing you can really buy on it. You can obviously buy a season pass, but digital items, and people do buy them like a fashion thing, you know. And what I did see actually is that they've done a Simpsons map on Fortnite, and that looked really fun. Actually, that's the sort of thing.
The first time it's been interesting for me in a long time.
Yeah, it looks like you download it and give it a go again. Yeah, that looks super fun. The graphics look tasty. So yeah, I might even download it and install it and give it another go.
I mean, it's their biggest IP, isn't it? It's a monster IP for them. All they've got to do is, as you say, it's a print money thing now. It's just like, we're going to deal. We'll find someone else to pay a couple of $1 million to put them in as a sponsorship deal for it and get them in for 6 months. I mean, didn't it even have Master Chief in it for a bit?
That's right, yeah.
Since might be going to bring out something new, a new season. How do you get it out there to all the families? All the kids are playing Fortnite. You know, let's advertise on there. Almost, there's probably, I'm not sure who paid who, or if no one paid anybody, but it was beneficial to both parties for sure.
It's interesting with these games. There's a few games that are actually kind of breathing new life into them recently. I mean, I think a couple of days ago I read that I was not expecting was an announcement on. It was now one of the gaming websites, was the World of Warcraft, and yeah, how long's that been going? I started playing it day one. I had it pre-ordered and got it for my birthday for my wife. I thousands upon thousands of hours into that game. It was pretty spectacular. But I'm still 2-3 expansions behind where they are now. I stopped playing it because I just realised I had more to live for than just playing World of Warcraft, sadly, which was an upsetting time for me. But yeah, I looked at it, it's like literally just come out now. They have literally just decided that the players can have homes. So whereas before you'd just be in one of the major cities and do things, apparently you've now got residences or something. I swear I read that a couple of days back, and it's taken them that long to get to it. So you can...
Yeah, I used to play quite a bit of World of Warcraft. Really enjoyed it. I must have played it for a good 4 years or so. I remember getting 4 or 5 expansions, new one each year or new one every 8 months or whatever they used to come out. I can remember I actually got scammed playing World of Warcraft, where someone had stolen your account details. I must have clicked on some dodgy link or something, because there were always people trying to sell gold in the chat or whatever. There's always something going off in there.
WTB gold.
Yeah, and whatever they got into my account, and basically they raided the account and they just left you naked. So they pinged anything that they could sell or cash in or do whatever, because that's what they're out to do. That's where the currency was to buy and sell gold, so you could go buy all the items that you wanted to buy. But
an orc pants.
Yeah, that's all I had. Excellent game. Yeah, a friend introduced me to that, and it was one of them games when you put it on, you realised almost instantly how good it was going to be. When you wandered around, it really felt like that virtual world. It was fantastic.
It was unbelievable, even from the original game. I'm so glad they brought back that kind of whether it was classic version of it as well, that went back to before all the expansions and the player changes and the additions. Like that core game when I first started playing it. I mean, my memory's terrible these days, but I can sort of remember getting it. And actually, 2 of my best friends still now, who've been my best friends since junior/senior school, we started playing it together and just throwing time into it. And yeah, I remember doing such an amazing game, as you say. And I remember the stupid thought. I can remember being literally an orc in pants, just going around. The only thing you can kill is boars, pretty much with a stick. She was going around just like hitting pigs with a stick for like 3 solid days to try and earn enough money to buy a crap wooden sword. I can remember that being some of the greatest times of gaming ever for me. And as we got better, having like lands at my parents' house. And bizarre enough, Tim, my friend, worked at a CD case packing factory at the time in Swindon. And he managed to get 4 boxes of these CD cases, bring them home, and an old door, and we put it up in my room. To made him like a bootleg desk. And then he sat on that. My parents went away for a week, and he was just literally like just set up in my room for a week, playing World of Warcraft on a desk on top of 4 CD cases. I think it was like the WRC game on PlayStation 1 or something. Like you get just the CD single cases you used to get years ago. The thin ones, or like plastic. They have that with the advertising on the front of it. It would go onto all the shelves in the shop as displays. And he had 4 boxes of those of the same game. I don't even know how he got hold of them. There you go. That memory means nothing to anybody, but now you know.
I remember getting it, and it was like early day, not super early days internet, but it was like broadband was kind of like just coming in-ish. You know, it was that kind of time. And I remember installing it. I can't remember how many. I think it was more than 1 CD-ROM. I could be wrong. Or it might even be on a DVD-ROM actually, because it was quite a big game.
World of Warcraft, the original one was 5 discs.
Yeah, and it installed, and then I had to do like some massive download as well, you know, to update, because they were very keen monthly on updates. You'd log in sometimes to play, and there'd just be a random, I'm going to play on Friday night or something, and it'd just be some random update that you'd have to do on Friday night. You just think, and the internet was like, obviously their servers were going to be hammered, your internet's being hammered, so yeah, fantastic game. I'm not sure.
To get into servers.
Yeah, I lost my account, and it's tied to some old email address that I had years ago. And I don't think it'd make much difference if I started a new character or used my old character, because it'd be so behind the times in any case. Fantastic fun. Have you played it, Brian, World of Warcraft?
I'm going to be the contrary one. I tried it. There's a demo. I think you could do it at the start for it. Like
there is the light version.
Like 25 levels or something.
And I got frustrated. I remember having to there was a button you pressed so you could keep running. You press that and just let the character run, because I needed to get to the next town. And I thought, I'm spending an hour here while my character is running and I'm just not doing anything. One of my friends, she loved it. She was really high up. Well, I don't know what level she was, but she came looking for me and brought me onto fights. But she was just laying waste to anybody at my level, just to try to get me leveled up. But
I think everyone had that friend. Everyone. There was at least one friend you had that was that.
Yeah. I think you
I really didn't like paying money monthly to play a game. Really upset me.
Yeah, that's where Elder Scrolls Online works a little bit better, because Elder Scrolls Online, you just buy the pack and you just play it. You don't even have to have the latest packs or anything, the latest upgrades, and it's free to play, which is really good, especially on PC. It's totally free to play, whereas on PlayStation and Xbox, I imagine you need gold at least to play it on Xbox and PlayStation Live.
Still going, is it?
But yeah, massively.
Carefully, if you listen to this, I know you played hundreds, possibly thousands of hours of ESO in your time and said it was really good, and I tried it but never really got into it. There was that, and the same game engine almost was the Star Wars one as well, wasn't it, from memory? Was that right? I'm trying to think if that's correct. There was a Star Wars multiplayer online game as well that came out.
I think that one was gone, or it's very limited amount of people play it. I could be totally wrong, but some of these games do keep going on forever and ever and ever. We may not have heard of them, but there's probably still someone that's got a server active that they might paying for, so you probably can get online.
The Old Republic was the one I'm thinking of as well. Was the Old Republic was a massive multiplayer online thing. It was kind of like Warcraft / ESO, but it was the Star Wars universe. That apparently was very good as well, but I completely missed the boat on that fella. But I know if anyone ever wants to play World of Warcraft, we can all just start from scratch if you want.
Yeah, well, they did that, didn't they? Where, like you said, like the light version, but it does give you. I think you can do whatever you like in it, but it's only up to say like level 30.
Yeah, it's 25, I think it is. I've just logged into my Blizzard account and my original stuff is still there. Yeah, starter edition, 25 levels.
Yeah, which is pretty cool, really. Which is, 25 levels, you'll probably get up to level 10 pretty quickly. Maybe levels 20 to 25 might take you a bit of a grind, so you get a good feel for the game. I mean, you could get a dragon or something, couldn't you, at one point on the game, so you could fly between places. And I think you can teleport, can't you, once you've been to certain areas?
Yes, you can use you basically see a map, didn't you, and you would fly between it in dots to get to another part of the map where it was. You had to go between places, almost like using a train, but you can only go as far somewhere in a direction first, before you then got another link to go somewhere else, and you get it all out. But yeah, the map was huge. I remember it being pretty big.
They had so much money being pumped into that game. That was one of them multiplayer onlines where they were introducing things that never been heard of before every sort of like year or every expansion, and it kept it exciting. Whereas nowadays, all those new ideas back then are relatively just standard these days. So yeah, it was a real revolution at the time. Yeah, fantastic. Loved it.
I didn't like paying for games monthly,
No.
but I was part of the clan that played Rainbow Six.
Yeah.
And we paid for our own server monthly. But it just crossed my mind that I was paying monthly for a game and never thought of it. But yeah. So,
Was it Rainbow Six Siege or whatever?
no, the previous, it's going back many years before. Rainbow Six, Raven Shield? I think it was Raven Shield.
Oh, yeah.
Rainbow Six. We had our own clan and we had to pay for servers. We had not many servers going for that so people could play.
£5 a year now. For,
What, World of Warcraft?
Yeah, that's if you buy it if you buy it at once, it's that. Otherwise, it's a tenner a month. So
What I used to do with that particular game is there's always a way to get it slightly cheaper. And what I used to do is I would pay for the 1 month, and then I would cancel the subscription because your month would still continue. So because what you might well find is that you don't play every weekend. So you might miss a weekend. And the way the subscription might run out, say like on like a Wednesday or something. So you might as well at least wait and resubscribe, say like on the Saturday or the next time you're going to play it. So you might save like 7 days here and 5 days there. So you can end up with a couple of months, not technically for free, but if you're not playing it, why paying for it, you know? So
yeah, the next big update apparently is December the 5th when you get homesteads. They're calling it when you do now get homes to live in, and you get like societies and stuff.
when I've looked on YouTube, it kind of looks a bit retro to my eyes these days. But I mean, they might have changed it. I haven't looked at it for maybe, say, the past 12 months or so.
Same engine, they just like strap some shaders and some ray tracing to it, I think, basically.
Yeah, brilliant game, brilliant. So I guess we should potentially chat about what we've been watching. Have you been watching much, Brian?
I watched the movies. I watched the movie called The Witch. It's actually called The Witch Part 1 Subversion. It's a Korean science fiction, action, mystery, something. Okay, from IMDb. When a bright high school student with memory loss enters a national talent show to help her struggling family, she finds her ordinary life flipped upside down by the sudden arrival of mysterious strangers. I don't know, she had memory loss, she was a witch, she was genetically modified. The movie is, despite all that, the movie is gory, it's pretty good. There's lots of gunfights and whatever in it. She escaped from bad people, basically, and they're coming after her. So I don't usually watch Korean movies. Like, this kept popping up on YouTube, showing clips of it. There's some really good plot twists in it that I didn't see coming. There's loads of bloods. The part of it is set in rural Korea, and it actually looks a lot like rural Japan. So I thought that was quite cool. The first 2/3 of the movie are pretty slow. It does pick up after that. It becomes really good. The slow part was quite good because you got to see the characters and how they lived, that type of thing. But it is, I thought, pretty good. I thought it was gory. I don't think Paul would think it was gory, but it was pretty good. So I watched the first one, so The Witch Part 2. The movie is called The Other One, and well, it's nowhere near as good. It's basically like a rehash of the first movie, and it's pretty boring, to be honest, so I didn't like it. The actress in the first movie was excellent. She was pretty much a noob in the first movie, wasn't that famous, and she was really good. She acted very well. The second movie, the witch wasn't as, you just couldn't get behind her, didn't like her as much. So there is a part 3 coming out. I don't know if it's next year. I'm hoping it's a return to the form of the first one, but I don't know, we'll see. Then watched the movie called The Fountain of Youth. Have you seen this? Have you heard of it?
I don't think so.
Shit. It's basically a wannabe new. I get this year, or maybe last year. It's a wannabe Indiana Jones. Don't watch it. It's John Krasinski.
Yeah, I just looked at who it is now, yeah.
John Krasinski, even in The Office, in the American Office, he was good as a comedian, but basically he raises his eyebrows a lot. He doesn't have any charm or on-screen presence not to pull this movie off. It's basically a summer Sunday afternoon movie when you're hungover and there's no one there to watch you see your shame watching this movie. It is really bad. Don't watch it. That's the only thing. Yeah, but the rest of it's really bad. The lines, the story steps, they've been done 100 times, 1,000 times before. There's nothing original in the movie. I need to stop watching bad movies, which brings me to the next movie. Google chucked up another the 10 best science fiction movies you've never seen, and one of them was called The Fix. Have you heard of this? No? Good. The story takes place in the future where the air is toxic, so people have to buy breathers and stuff. A model is, she's advertising this new breather and she happens to get infected with something, and the movie is just boring. You just have no interest in the characters at all. There's no redeeming features, and you don't like them. She gets infected, it makes her ugly, but it gives her superpowers, and suddenly she's able to fly, and she's being described as a fairy even though she's become extremely ugly. Don't watch it. It is, It's pure shit, pure shit. I'll finish soon. I watched the latest season of one of the best shows on TV, Slow Horses. Have you seen this? It's magnificent.
I keep meaning to get into it.
I
Yeah.
haven't.
You haven't? Oh my god. Gary Oldman is in it.
It's got Gary Oldman. I know of it because you spoke about it before. Yeah.
Yeah, he is superb. He plays Jackson Lamb. It's an old, filthy boss of the Slow Horses, who are a group of MI5 rejects, basically. He is magnificent. He's picking his toenails and farting and spitting every place. He's absolutely horrible character. He looks like he's enjoying himself a lot. It's the characters, the interplay between them is amazing. The levels of despicability and deviousness in the story and the characters is just sublime. The 5th season just finished. At the end, they show clips of the 6th season, or for the next season, and which we won't see for ages, but I'm already looking forward to it. It's brilliant. It's all based on books, a series of books. Apparently Mick Jagger likes this series of books. He loves it, and he offered to write a theme tune and sing the theme tune for the show. And the theme tune is bloody good. I like it. I did read the first book on the series. It wasn't as good as the TV show. The TV show seems to be more condensed. It's been done quite well. So I should try the other books, see what they're like. But definitely watch the TV show. It's brilliant. Excellent. So go watch that and avoid the movies. Yeah. And there's not many episodes in each season. That's definitely worth a watch. Yeah, that's basically all I've watched. That's it. That's it. Yep, that's all I've watched.
Skip down Slow Horses, thank you. I need to try and watch it. I'll just get Apple TV for a month or something and give it a go.
Yeah, it is meant to be excellent. Everyone does rave about it, I must admit. What have you been watching there, Ben?
I'm going to go completely opposite to compared to what you're watching, brain rot, to be honest with you, I think it's probably be classified as. If anyone's a fan of Big Bang Theory, if ever watched it before, then did you go through the Big Bang phase of doing it all or not?
I think most of us, yeah.
There's is it Chuck Lorre, the guy who produced it and sort of come up with it, has done a show called Leanne on Netflix, which is kind of their follow-on thing they've made. So completely different storyline. It's based around sort of a woman in her 50s called Leanne. It's a comedy thing, works in exactly the same way, same kind of mechanics of a program, the same sort of level of entertainment and funny. My wife and I have sat and just destroyed all 16 episodes of the first season of that in the space of about 2 weeks. And it is really, really very good. So I was quite impressed. It's one of those things where Big Bang was such a success. You're like, is he actually going to succeed with this? Is it going to be good? And it really is. Leanne, can't remember her surname now. Her real name is Leanne, and she is a Texan lady who's also a comedian as well, an American comedian who's the lead character member in it. It's also got, if you've ever watched Whose Line Is It Anyway years ago, Ryan Stiles is her husband in it.
Yeah.
And he is unbelievable. He is still so amazing as a comedy character. He's really good. But yeah, the whole cast is great. And the lady from Third Rock from the Sun, can't remember her name as well. She's in it.
Oh, is that Kirsten? I'm looking at the cast. Yeah, that's her. Kirsten Johnson was her name.
Yes, thank you. I remember her
Kirsten
name.
Johnson. Yeah.
So Leanne Morgan. So, yeah, the cast is brilliant, and a lot of it is deadpan, and it works so well in exactly the same way that the Big Bang Theory did, and we just really enjoy it. It's great. It's only like 25, 30 minutes an episode, and you can just sit and plow through a few of them while eating dinner or something. Really good. Really, really enjoyed watching that this month.
Excellent.
I think that's sort of been the only thing we've really watched on TV. It's been an insanely busy month for work for both of us, so TV has been pretty much either you're watching it when you're in bed on your phone or on a tablet, or the TV like watching just mindless stuff like cruise videos because we're looking at doing another holiday at some point. But we've watched Chris Ramsey, the comedian, watched one of his live shows just because we wanted something to watch one night. That was really good, and I like Chris Ramsey anyway. And the really interesting, actually, we watched Russell Howard just before. Didn't realise before COVID, Russell Howard, the comedian, was meant to do a world tour. And he had like 15, 18 different shows booked in like Australia, America, everything. And it just one day was just turned off like a week before they were going to fly out and start. And he did he does a show and kind of a documentary almost that backs it up. So he does a show in England, which is his first one after we were released in this country to actually go out and do stuff again. But then he does like kind of a whole story that's like an hour and a half long of how he survives with the background of COVID and everything being shut down, and then trying to do small shows and doing it for charity and doing remote stuff. And it's amazing to watch. Really, really cool. And he goes out to, was it New Zealand was the only place that didn't like go on lockdown because they were so good with how they did stuff or something like that. I don't know, completely different to the UK, put it that way. And they let him go out there, and he lived in a hotel for 2 weeks in a room before he could go and do his shows. And he actually did his leg of the tour or something, but really worth watching. I can't remember the name of it now. It's really frustrating me, but it's great as kind of a documentary and stuff. And at the end of it is, I'm not going to ruin it, but it's worth watching. It's only like an hour, but it's quite cool because it shows, I know we're all told about how the theatre and the live performance industry was just literally collapsing on overcoded. And it shows how he was trying to reverse that and how much work and effort it took. Really, really intriguing. Great. I cried a little bit at a few points in it. It really is a really lovely story, and he's a really nice guy as well, sort of thing as well. You kind of understand a bit more about him, which is good. So that's really watched. That's kind of the three major ones. Other than that, probably never seen it. Sorry, carry on.
I've been watching quite a few bits, mainly because I've been really sort of busy with work and such like, because it's that time of year now where I'm selling more than I'm doing the buying. So, of course, I've got to list everything, etc. So my brain is not quite being up to playing a game. I've been a bit too tired, so I've been watching more TV and films, and I've been watching some good stuff, actually. I watched a really good one, which sounds like it's totally like, why are you going to bother watching that? It sounds rubbish. And it's a TV series called The Chair Company, and it's about a guy who works for a company, and they build big, massive, like, malls, like American sort of, like, big shopping centres. And he finds himself in so many bizarre situations. It's almost like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but with a really serious, dark mystery situation going on underneath the rest of it. And he's trying to hunt down this chair company and who owns the chair companies, because he's absolutely convinced the chair company has set him up. And the way that he reckons has set him up, I think it's like episode one. I'm not spoiling too much. Now, he works in like a regular sort of American-y sort of office. He's like the boss, or not the boss of the company, but he's like the boss of that department. He's like heading up this latest model that they're making, and they have to do like a presentation on stage. And they bring out a chair, and he's like sat down in one of these chairs, and the chair collapses while he's on the stage, and he ends up inadvertently, because they all come to like his aid, inadvertently he ends up looking up this woman's skirt, right? So it's not his fault, like he's on the floor, they've all run over to him, yeah. And so anyway, they turn this into a bit of an issue, like say like about 5 minutes later into it, it's like the, what they call the guy's human resource sort of person comes along and says, well, you did look up her skirt, so we've got to really like look into this sort of thing, and he's convinced it's like he's been set up. And the bizarre situations he finds himself, it's really good because it's keeping the mystery going. I probably watched 4 or 5 episodes now. It's a weekly thing, so that I haven't watched the end of it. But I would highly recommend it. It's called The Chair Company. I would definitely watch it. Other TV stuff I've been watching. So, but yeah,
Sounds good.
Well, he's meant to be, I believe so. He'd been in another film recently, which I haven't watched, which is on my list to watch. I think he's called Best Friend or something, where he's like these two guys end up being good buddies, but there's meant to be like another undertone of other certain things going off in the background. I can't remember the name of the film, but it looks pretty good actually. I watched Friendship. That's it. Yeah, that's meant to be a good film, so I will give that one a watch. What else have I been watching? I watched the final of Big Brother yesterday. I've watched pretty much all 7 weeks of it. The guy that won it, I won't spoil it in case, but you probably will have by the time I've edited this. You will, if you've been watching it. Richard won, the old guy, and he's like 60 years old. And he's like considered as like the oldest person to ever won Big Brother. A lot of people might find Big Brother a little bit rubbishy, but it's interesting. It's a good social experiment how all these people interact together, etc. We had some really good people in this year, actually. Made for a really good show, well worth watching. And of course, you guys might have watched this. I'm not sure you might not have watched it, Brian, but you might be able to get it over there. And the Celebrity Traitors. You can get it on BBC, on the iPlayer. I'm not sure if you get iPlayer in Japan, but Celebrity Traitors, man, that was fantastic as well. Obviously, if you haven't seen it, I won't mention who won it, but it is so good all the way through, well worth watching. And I watched, there's so many laugh out loud moments. Them guys don't take themselves seriously. It really is entertaining. There's a lot of big names in there, and there's a few like names you won't have heard of, but if you're in certain circles like YouTubers and whatnot. But yeah, really good. What else did I watch? I don't know if you guys have ever watched that on Netflix, Monsters, which is generally like a 6-parter. They're on to season 3. First one was about a Dahmer, a big serial killer in America, used to like to eat people. The second one was about the Menendez brothers who killed their parents and they're still currently in prison. And the third one is about one of like meant to be like the original serial killer, which a lot of the later serial killers got interested in serial killing because of him, and a guy called Ed Gein. His thing, he like joined dead bodies and basically interacting with them in various different ways, sexually, making suits out of their skin and all kinds of stuff. Really good. It takes you all the way through him from being like a kid through all this serial killing, right through to being like an adult and into like his death. Fantastic, well worth watching. It kind of got a bit poo-pooed with the reviews. They kind of said it's, oh no, it's not so good. It's a bit too much artistic license. How they've gone a little bit off piste with it, but I liked it. I thought it was really good. I didn't know enough about the serial killer to kind of say, oh, that's a load of old rubbish, whatever you're chatting there, or So it was an education for me. I thought it was good. But yeah, I've been watching quite a few films. I've watched some good films actually. I won't go too deep into them, but I watched a good one called Late Night with the Devil, which is about a show set in the 1970s. And it's basically like one of these general sort of chat shows you host. It gets on various guests. But as it happens, it's hosted on Halloween. So the theme of the guests is like, talking about ghosts and people that say they've been possessed. And they have another guy on there who's like a magician, who's like considered now as an ex-magician, who says that he can see all these people that say they're possessed and all this, that, and the other. Quite simply, they're all faking it. It's all sleight of hand, how they do it, and it's all a trick. And he can tell you how they're doing it, when they're doing it. And it goes on from there, but it's a really good film, all set in the studio. I think it's quite a shortish film, probably about a 90-minute film, which can be quite nice these days. So many films are 2 hours and 20 minutes, and you get halfway through, you think, well, I'm tired now, or I need a break, or whatever. A 90-minute film can keep you going. So yeah, that was good. I watched a horror film called The Black Phone, because part 2 has just come out, so I'd never really had any interest in watching the first one until they started promoting the second one. That's a good film. It's about kids that are going disappearing. That have been kidnapped and disappearing in a neighbourhood. Obviously, they're being kept in the basement. And that's a good one. The kid that's in it, who gets kidnapped, he kind of starts talking to all the dead kids that have been killed previous to him, and they tried to help him to escape. Really good. Watch Colin Farrell's latest film, Ballad of a Small Player. And that's basic. He doesn't get that great reviews, but I quite like Colin Farrell. And it was all about gambling. I don't mind watching like them kinds of films. I used to like going to the casino years ago. I never used to spend much money. You could like go to the casino years ago and they keep you in there as long as possible. So they give you free sandwiches and free drinks. So I mainly went for the free sandwiches and the free drinks. So it'd make for the cheap night out. You could go in and sort of like, maybe spend 20 quid, play a bit of blackjack or whatever. You used to be able to play just £1 a time. So like with 20 quid, you're going to be up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. So you're probably going to last like an hour or so, perhaps. So because I only bet the minimum, never used to go anything serious. So, but yeah, anyway, so this film is at a point where all his bad debts are catching up with him. Not only that, but he's actually pretending to be like a lord, like a British lord or whatever, but he's in Macau. So it's all set out of it. I believe Macau's in Hong Kong, and it's within their like massive sort of like gambling area. And some of the things that he's going through, because he's actually got another person on his tail, like a detective woman, and she's been hunting him down because he'd ripped some people off in England. And she's caught with him. She says, basically, if you don't sort this debt out within X amount of days and report it to the police, and you'll pretty much spend the rest of your life in prison, in a Hong Kong prison or whatever, which doesn't sound very good. So, but it's about his sort of like a 24, 48-hour period. I'd say the lighting and the direction of the film is fantastic. Really good. I really enjoyed it. But I say one of the best films I've watched. It's a bit of a dodgy copy sort of thing. So it's not out, I don't think, to stream at the moment. I think you can see it in the cinema. And that's the film called Begonia. And that's all about these two conspiracy-obsessed guys. And they kidnap this high-powered CEO of like a major company who kind of like make like a drug or something. Now, these two kids, both great actors, are convinced that this woman is an alien. Absolutely convinced this woman's an alien. So they kidnap her, take her to the basement, etc. They shave all her hair off because they say that the hair is like the aerial for like transmitting to like the other aliens. And the stuff the kids are coming out with are like, you've lost the plot, mate. And then there's an underlying tale as well, because the company or the CEO that they've kidnapped also used to make some particular drug which they'd given to his mother, and it had basically put his mother into like a coma state. So you start to wonder whether this kid's like just vibing off the bad vibes of what this person's done to his mother, so it's led him into all kinds of crazy thinking. I won't tell you any more than that, and that's probably all in like the first 15 minutes or so. And I will say, must-watch film, an absolutely must-watch film. And it's also got another guy in there, which I actually watch on YouTube, and he's a comedian, and he's called Stavros.
Oh,
I'll try to pronounce. Yeah. Do you watch it where he's going around and he's comedian, so he's trying to lose weight and stuff, and he gets on the scales at the end? He absolutely doesn't care. You know what I mean? He's always trying to lose weight, etc., and he's stabbing himself with his injections that you can have, for losing your weight, etc. It's a fantastic thing. But he's in the film. He plays a cop, and he actually plays a fairly decent part in it too. He actually does an interview about it fairly recently where he says, well, they rung him up to be in this film, And this says he's going to be a cop, and he says, of course, yeah, he figures he's going to get shot in like the first minute or something, or he's just like in the background. But no, he plays like a pretty decent part. He's not a starring role, but he's in it for a good 10, 15 minutes or so, which is pretty big. And he is a good guy. I do enjoy his stuff. I watched a new film called Waltzing with Brando as well, which is about Marlon Brando, and he's played by Billy Zane. And I tell you what, man, he looks just like Marlon Brando. The voice, I couldn't quite get into his voice at first, and I'm thinking to myself, actually, you're thinking about Marlon Brando as if he's playing The Godfather. That's why you're not getting into his voice, because you're expecting him to sound like The Godfather, where obviously Marlon Brando didn't sound like The Godfather. That's just the part he acted.
Wow,
but the other good
weird to
thing,
see. That's amazing. It's a good
yeah,
that's nuts.
he looked just like him, and as a
He does.
also the guy that's in it as well, which he's dropped off the radar. It's one of my favourite films all time, and it's the guy Napoleon from Napoleon Dynamite. That's the guy that's in the film, which I think is one of the best films ever, Napoleon Dynamite. It's just an absolutely great film. Now, what I will say about the film, it's more of like almost like a history of, it's based on a true story of the guy that the Napoleon Dynamite guy is being given a task to go find an island or design something on an island so that Marlon Brando can live along the lines of, how can you say, in like an environmentally friendly way. But this is like back in the 70s before it was it's probably considered as a bit of a wacky idea to be environmentally friendly. But yeah, really good film. What else did I watch? I watched Ruth Man as well. I watched that yesterday, which is based on another true story. And that's about a guy who, what he was doing, he was going around America because he was going around breaking into places, going through the roof, like back in the 80s or sometime. And he actually got caught. But he actually managed to, when he got caught, they gave him something daft, like about 128 years or something as a prison sentence. And of course, he wanted to see his daughter, etc. So he actually managed to escape, and then he ends up living in Toys R Us. So when it's shut, he's sort of like wandering around in Toys R Us, and he ends up sort of venturing out a little bit. But it's based on a true story. I would definitely recommend watching Ruth Man. It doesn't sound like the most interesting film, but it's definitely worth watching. I've watched another couple. I watched another film called Warfare, which is oddly enough based on another true story. I haven't been watching lots of true story films. It just seems to be they're all based on true stories. And that's about, they're in Iraq, and, like a bad situation happens, and they're basically taking over this particular house in Iraq. They've sort of invaded these people's houses in Iraq by stealth. But they start to notice that the Iraqi people around them, the bad guys at the time, have actually sussed that they're using the house for reconnaissance. They've figured it out, and they sort of figure out that they've figured it out, and it all goes down from there. So yeah, really good. But other than that, I've not really watched much else. But I seriously suggest watching that Begonia. Well worth watching. It turns out, yeah, fantastic.
I've watched Sorted Food on YouTube, Caesar Milan the Dog Whisperer with my daughter, and Top Dead Center, which is a car channel. So that's as far as I've got into it. Versus your movie escapade, I feel like I've actually learned something.
Well, yeah, it's that kind of year where they do release quite a lot of good films. Stuff that's maybe come out in the summer. It's sort of like filtering now through into stuff you can watch online or whatever. I mean, there's lots of good stuff out there at the moment. I mean, it's too much, isn't it? Let's be honest, to watch all. But if I was going to suggest to watch two things, watch that Begonia and watch The Chair Company. They're both excellent. Both really, really good. Totally excellent, intriguey type stuff. So I guess it's, are we down to what are we been playing?
Yeah, yeah.
What have you been playing, Brian?
Let me see. Played Trek Tiomi. Was that our game? That was a game. I'll leave that to last then. Let me see. I'll go to the next one. I played Plague Tale Innocence. I think everybody knows it. It's a third-person, over-the-shoulder type game, action-adventure with stealth. The game is very pretty. The story is not something you often see, but it's like set in plague-ridden 1300s France, something like that. You're you play a lord's daughter. You and your younger brother watch the Inquisition kill your family, and they're at the Inquisition start chasing after you and your little brother, and you basically have to outwit the Inquisition, and you have to deal with swarms of rats at the same time. Because apparently, swarms of rats brought the plague. I'm guessing that's what it's all about. But it's mainly based on puzzles solving and stuff like that. You're trying to move. The rats don't like light, so you're trying to move. There's a small bit of combat in it, not a lot. Where you use a sling to try and take down characters. You can avoid most of it if you really want. It is pretty good. I liked it at the end. There's no critic score. I think I've wrote it down as 82. The graphics and the animation are all really good. There was a few things that annoyed me with the game. You play a game, you have the main route that you can go down. Sometimes there's a side route where you can go and try and pick up some extras. The game did not make it obvious which one was the side route or which was the main one. Because sometimes you go down the main route and then you'd all of a sudden get cut off and you couldn't go back and go down the side route. And I like to explore in games. So I found that quite frustrating. So most of your upgrade material was off on these side routes, so that used to freak me out a bit. There is the main thing another thing that annoyed me was this movement felt slow and clunky. I know, like you're running with your dragging along your 5-year-old younger brother, so you're running but holding his hand. But it just felt slow and clunky, even when you were just running on your own. So like running up a spiral staircase, no matter what you were doing, you were just running into walls going around. You couldn't go up fluidly up a staircase because all the towers had spiral staircases. The last thing that it really annoyed me was fucking French mines, because it seems that they've taken over this. There's invisible walls everywhere. You can't go down the street for no reason other than the fact that there's an invisible wall. You can see all the way down the street, but you can't go down it. And these keep popping up all throughout the game, and that really, really irritates me. I don't like invisible walls in games. Put a wall there if you don't want me to go down there. But like some parts, you can jump over a tree, and then later on you can't get past a pebble in the road because there's a wall there. What else? There was one section in the game. Oh god! You have to hide behind a carriage as another character is pushing it, and there's arrows being thrown at you. I repeated that section easily in the double digits because it was just frustrating. As I mentioned, the movement is slow, but when you're trying to run and aim a sling, it felt really awkward because the movement was slow and it wasn't intuitive. So, but once I got past that section, the rest of the game was good. There is an emotional moment as soon as that section is over, but because I'd repeated it 15, 16 times, the emotion didn't really pay off. It was a bit annoying. You're just like, fuck, just let me through. I don't care. But it's like, I was so glad that hurt. Not my even say what happened, but I'm so glad it happened to him. While playing the game, we reached chapter 8, and it's called Our Home. And I thought this is the final chapter, and I was really happy. I thought the game was quite good up until that point. The bit I moaned about is later on, but I was really happy. And then I checked to see how many chapters, and it's like the 17 chapters. And I fuck, I've got more to go. But overall, the game was good. It started introducing new mechanics. The story picked up. I was happy to play through it, and I enjoyed it. And I enjoyed it so much, I downloaded the second game, which is also in my backlog. So I would recommend it. It's actually quite good. There is, aside from my 3 gripes, the game is quite good. So I would suggest playing it. I played another game called After Party. You play as Milo and Lola. Do you know this game, After Party? You recently died. You end up in a hell, and you're trying to get back out of hell. And there's a loophole. If you can outdrink Satan, he'll grant you re-entry to Earth. Have you heard of this game? It's basically a point and click. Yeah.
Did it start a Kickstarter or something? Did it ages ago?
I don't know. People who did Oxenfree did this game.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's a bit like a point and click game. I had watched this during the lockdown and COVID. I watched somebody play it on Twitch, and I thought it looks really good. So when it came out on PlayStation Network or PSN, I added it to my library, downloaded it. It's been on my PlayStation for ages. So the game tries to be funny. Not bad thing, but it's funny. It's constantly cracking jokes one after the other, constantly trying to be funny. And it's like all the time. It really, really been great for a while. It's, I don't know, the characters are wisecracking the whole time, just constant humour and teen angst. It's a bit like a movie. Do you remember that movie, Elliot Page and Michael Cera and Jennifer Garner? The young girl has a baby.
Oh, yeah.
It's a bit like that, just constant attempts at humour. It's not really that good. I went looking for people's reviews on it, and some guy on Metacritic, which is a normal person, this is what he said about the game. In the game, you only ever do 2 things. Either you walk left, you listen to a ton of annoying dialogue, the game literally never shuts up, and occasionally pick one of 2 replies, which don't have any impact on anything. Or you walk right, listen to a ton of annoying dialogue, the game literally never shuts up, and occasionally pick 1 or 2 replies, which don't have any impact on anything. Pretty much it, to be honest. The game is point and click, or you can use WASD keys. There are loads of mini games in it. And the most annoying is this dance-off you've got to do. You have to hit a series of colour buttons in order within a certain time, and it's nearly impossible to do with the mouse to try and click on these. I tried the WASD keys, they didn't work at all. And eventually, after not many failures, the game actually prompted that you could use the arrow keys, and that was the first time it had mentioned you could use the arrow keys in the whole game. I was like, fucking 20 minutes trying to do this, and now you tell me I could do this. I don't recommend this. Do not go near this game. There are hardly any puzzles. It is the humor is annoying. The graphics are nice. So no recommend. I am currently playing Forspoken. I think Paul, you said you've played this.
Yeah, I would say the graphics are great.
Yeah, it's a 2023 role-playing game. It's not that old, to be honest. And it got blasted in reviews because of I don't know, I don't think it's in the game. She's not as annoying as the way the review said the main character is really, really annoying. I don't think she's as annoying as they made out. But the game has loads of fast-moving and fluid movement over land or terrain traversal is what they said. It has a Metacritic of 64. I'm only halfway through. I think I'm about halfway through the game. At the start, I didn't realize I was still in the tutorial section. So I went to explore and go running off to one side, and all of a sudden you'd hit into the wall, or they'd actually just pick you up and drop you back where the game is playing. The game wants you to be. The cutscenes are slightly annoying. You hear all the story going on the video sort of finished. You come back to your character, and it seems to just halt. It feels like it's sticking. You want to get back into the flow game, and I end up holding the controller, trying to hit all the buttons because I thought the PlayStation had crashed or just frozen. It's frustrating. You're losing being part of the game. I do like the game. After saying all that, I do like the game. There's loads of combat. Some of it gets repetitive, but you're graded on your combat, so you go from, I don't know, C, B, A, S. It might be S. I've never had it yet, but you start to develop techniques for taking out different enemies, and you can see your grade increasing. So it's quite good. I like it. I think I'm on chapter 5. I'm not sure how many there is in the total game, but I like the game. So that's what I've played other than Trek to Yomi. Do you want to do that last, or do you want me to talk about it first?
Yeah, go for it. That's fine.
Go for it. For those who don't know, Trek to Yomi is a 2022 side-scrolling action-adventure developed by Flying Wild Hog and published by Devolver. It was set during the Edo period of feudal Japan. I'm reading all this in case it's amazing. The game follows a young swordsman named Hiroki who embarks on a quest for vengeance after his home village is burned, leading into Yomi, the Japanese underworld, and confronting the evils as past. I didn't know Yomi was the underworld. I thought Yomi was a town or a person for a long time through this game before I realised this. I really didn't know. I had to ask my wife, what is Yomi? It has a 72 on OpenCritic. I think that's really wrong. It should be way higher.
Agreed.
This game should be... The game is good. It could be a game of the year if they fix two things. For me, anyway. I don't really like button combo games. And I know, Ben, you like these games because you like the skateboard games where you got loads of combinations.
Yeah.
And I get lost in them. So I pick 2 or 3 combinations that I know work, and I'll stick with them. But so if this had been different, I might like to do more. The game story is pretty good. The graphics are gorgeous. The Kurosawa style black and white is amazing. It looks so beautiful. The audio is great. The animation and character movements are just bliss. They have that all right. The one thing that really freaked me out is the parry mechanic. It's fucking impossible. I could not. I think in the entire game, I did it once, and that is really, really bad. Like it's, you get health back for parrying, and that really, I only got it once in the entire game. There's a finisher move as well. I ended up killing all the people really quickly when I was in a fight. I never saw there was a part when you hit somebody they apparently put their head down, look like they're really tired, and you get a finisher move then as well. I missed that throughout the whole game. I never got it in the tutorial section. I never saw it again. I think there should be more. I don't know how to fix it, but make it more obvious. But that it's available at the time. Other than that, the game's just silly. I love it. I rate this really high. It's really smooth. The story, the fighting is really good, apart from the parry action. But the story is intriguing. It kept me going the whole way through it, and the game wasn't overly long. It didn't overstay its welcome. I really enjoyed it, so I would recommend that to anybody who wants to play. And that's it. How about you guys? Paul, do you want to go next, or Ben?
Go on, Paul. What do you think?
Okay, yeah, I was glad to play Trek to Yumi as well because it was our game to play from last episode. I enjoyed it. I got into that situation where I put it on easy mode, which is great because I wanted to kind of play it and get it done, which was, with it being like a 4-hour game, I thought it was just about right, it was 4 hours. I had to turn off a couple of settings though on the game, which was, it has like a film effect, doesn't it? As if you're like watching some like 1935
green
film
effect
or something. Yeah, that did my head in after a while. I had to turn that off, and I thought the game looked better for it, but I did like the filter. And I'm glad they actually had it on to begin with, because it's not a filler I would have turned on and tried. So I enjoyed it as a novelty for about 30 minutes, and I had to turn it off because it was kind of like, I found it a bit distracting. But I enjoyed it. I will say it was good. I kind of got into that mode though, where I picked up on certain moves where you could actually almost guarantee to, like, if you keep pressing this certain combination of moves, you can pretty much beat them down pretty quickly. But yeah, I enjoyed it. I thought it was definitely well worth playing, and definitely well worth the 4 or 5 hours that it took to play it. And it's always nice to finish a game, because so many games just never ever going to get finished because they're maybe over, say, 15, 20, 30 hours long or longer. Let's be honest, I mean, 30 hours is like maybe a medium these days for most games. So yeah, I really enjoyed it in that respect. I played it, and I probably did it in maybe 1 or 2. I don't think it was 1 session. I'm pretty certain it was over 2 sessions, but it doesn't take any more than that. And it respected my time, which is always nice. It wasn't full of rubbish. It was a good story. It just kept going and going and going, and it was progressive. Yeah, I enjoyed it. What did you reckon to it, Ben?
I absolutely loved it. And I just went, no, all right, and just chose it and didn't really think anything after that at all. But it wasn't just started playing it, kind of like, oh, it's maybe 6 hours, you'll give it a go. And that 6 hours just disappeared. I think, as Brian's already said, it's like the storyline was great, the mechanics were great, the image quality and just the way it's put together is just amazing. Really, really good. I'd say the sepia tone style of it and everything was great. Really did set the scene. Probably one of my favourite games of the year. I think so, definitely. It's been an absolute cracker. Loved it. I'm so glad that we sort of just by fluke looked it up and found it there. It's something we all had. It's brilliant. I got caught in that position as well, but towards the end of it, of that combo's pretty devastating. I'll just stick with that, thanks. And you just managed to hack your way through some of the more difficult bits of the game. I know I didn't get everything. I didn't get all the little. You can get those artifacts, can't you, as you go around? I think I've missed a few of those. And I know you can play it, and there's 3 different endings, isn't there, or something from memory? I looked it up.
I think so, yeah.
So I am tempted to go and do it again when I don't have a need to keep completing like we have this year a little bit. I enjoy doing it again, I think, definitely. It was really cool. There were some bits in there. I had a real want to get to that last boss. It's kind of like, right, you're going to pay for that, my friend, sort of thing. And it's kind of, I was really drawn into it. It was good. Really, really cool.
Very good. Yeah, so I've also, like Brian, I've been playing Forspoken. I've played about 3 hours or so of the game. I'm at that point now where the story's been set, the world has opened up, and you can actually just get on with the game. I'm not always a big fan of 1 or 2 hour story setting scenarios. Sometimes I get a bit bored. Generally due to all the cutscenes that you find in these things, you seem to like setting the scene. I mean, you can't blame them. They're trying to get me involved in the game, so they're doing the right thing. But you'll find you do 2 minutes of action, and then there's like a 4-minute cutscene. 4 minutes of action, a 5-minute cutscene, and I can't be dealing with all them cutscenes, which send me a bit bonkers after a while. But I'm finally at that point. What I will say about that Forspoken, I can understand that it got a lot of hate to begin with, but a lot of these games that get a lot of hate, a lot of these people haven't even played them. A lot of people just jump on the bandwagon and just hate for the sake of hating it. But what I will say is that the graphics, they're absolutely fantastic. I'll say they're kind of like quite a standout. I actually looked up about the game as well, and oddly enough, I've been playing the only other game that's using that engine, and it's called the Luminous engine. And allegedly, they're no longer using this Luminous engine. And the other game I'd actually played in the month as well, which I've been playing over the past few months, is Final Fantasy 16, which is a similar kind of battle system to Forspoken, where you go in, you beat all the guys, and then you get like a rating at the end of how well you've done, like an A+ or an F or whatever. And yeah, so I actually quite like it. I believe that Forspoken as well, if you actually mainline the main story, it's only meant to be around about 12 hours long, which I find, it's not meant to be a very long game. I mean, if you do all the side quests, etc., then you can really sort of, it's massively padded out if you so desire. So, but the 12 hours is enough to make me want to play more of it, because I like to finish a game. I like the situation, the game ends and you think, oh, wow, yeah, seeing the credits roll, haven't I done well? Yeah, I really enjoyed that. So I'm definitely going to play more of that. Like I said, we're playing more of Final Fantasy 16. That's a similar sort of game, as I mentioned, totally different storyline, but oddly enough, it is set in like a bit of a medieval world. But that's another game that does falter in the respect of that has cutscenes all the time. You could walk in between doing like main missions, you could walk like, I don't know, for like 1 minute and you're getting a cutscene, and you walk for another minute, you get a cutscene. It's meant to be a big adventure game. I want to enjoy the adventure. I don't want to be totally given cutscenes all the time. I also played a little bit of Cyberpunk on PlayStation 5. I mainly put that on to basically have a look because I said they'd enhanced it more for the Pro Edition of PlayStation. So I thought, well, I'll give it a go. I downloaded it. I have actually got the game on Xbox as well. And I mainly bought it on Xbox. I've got it on PlayStation due to PlayStation Plus. It's part of one of them games, so it didn't cost anything. I had bought it previously many years ago on PlayStation and finished it on PlayStation 4, but sold the disc, which is one thing I enjoy doing, playing it for free, then selling the disc. I usually buy it at a second-hand price. But I bought it on Xbox, and it's still brand new. It's still sealed. It's actually here. It's on my pile. In fact, it's underneath here. So, well, it's not. It's here. So it's all still brand new and still sealed, etc. And the reason I bought it on Xbox because I'm going to sell my Xbox Series X because I just don't need it anymore. But the advantage of buying games on Xbox is that the DLC, the DLC is always on the disc, where if you buy the PlayStation version of the Ultimate Edition, the DLC is via a code. So once you've used your code, the disc is just Cyberpunk. It's not the Ultimate Edition anymore. I hate that kind of thing. So anyway, I haven't opened up Cyberpunk because I'm one of them sorts of people where if I buy it and I never get around to playing it, just taking the wrapping off of the game on Cyberpunk can devalue it by, say, like a $5 or maybe a little bit more. I've kept it sealed, so I'm just going to flog it. And then in the new year, when I can buy more games, and no doubt, and I have seen it before on sale, I'll just buy the DLC for the Ultimate Edition, which is probably going to be about 15 quid in a sale. I do actually have the game. I actually own it on PC as well, but I don't have the Ultimate Edition. I'm just back to home. But the good thing about Cyberpunk, it's cross-save. So, you're not going to lose your save, which is good, which is kind of important. It's one of them games. But the good thing is with the Ultimate Edition as well, even if you can just play the second deal, you can just play the DLC. You don't have to play all the way through the main story to play the DLC, which is a whole different story again. So that's good.
Okay. That's cool.
Yeah. So So if you change platform or whatever, you can just jump straight into the second part of the game, which is cool. It gives you a certain amount of points, so you can put them points back into your character, so that you don't have to worry about your character being under-leveled, etc. It does give you enough points to make it playable. And I've only really played one other game as well, RedSec, Battlefield 6, the free-to-play thing. Yeah, I quite enjoyed it. I turned off the cross-platform situation because I don't want to be playing against people with mouse and keyboard on a PlayStation. Although, if it's anything like the Xbox, you can actually play with mouse and keyboard on an Xbox. You can plug them in and play it on there, I believe. So that's an interesting way to play it. But that's obviously going to give you the best accuracy as a keyboard and the mouse. I played it for about an hour or so. Obviously, I got absolutely battered. One thing that you can do is you can jump in the cars and be like, where you've got like a gun turret on the back, etc. And you can be an absolute nuisance. So I like to do that kind of thing. So you get in into the car and you can drive around like a maniac, beeping your own everyone, beep, 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 and then trying to run everybody over. Obviously not your team, you try to hunt down the other team. And they're obviously trying to shoot at you, sort of thing, and they're all going a bit zany. You're trying to run over them. So yeah, it was quite fun, and it's also the graphics are nice. It was fast, pacey. Would I play it again? Can't see why not. I would definitely. I'm not desperate to play it. I would say I'm dead keen to go up the ranks. But yeah, the small amount of time I played with it, I would say yeah, for a freebie, absolutely. Why not? Would it make me want to buy the full game? Probably not. So, but yeah. So what have you been playing, Ben?
Not to move away from the usual Ben tactics, I played a lot of Forza Motorsport 7. Now down to the last championship. I've got to work through that and I will have completed it. My intention is to get that done before we hit the end of December. Forza Horizon 5. I have the main game of that, and I have the Hot Wheels, and I have the Rally expansions, which are 2 7-10 hour expansions for those. I finished both the expansions as well this month, which is quite cool. So now I have totally finished Horizon 5, ready for Horizon 6 next year, which is a big thing for me. Actually, very, very enjoyable. I've got to a point with Horizon where I ran into a wall a little bit with it. As the weekly festivals and season stuff you have to keep doing it, which really dried up for me after a while because it got very samey. And there's a group of us, Kev Horsley and 2 other guys I used to work with, we used to play it a lot, weekly. And we just stopped and moved across to Motorsport, I think it was. And that's where we've injected 200 odd hours into that instead. But the Hot Wheels expansion was good fun, really, really good. If you've played the Horizon 3 one, that was decent, but towards the end of it just got ridiculous. The difficulty wall just went vertical, and the last race was completely pathetic. Whereas the one on 5 has been done a lot better. There's more to it, more content, and it just feels like a much more rounded DLC. Works very much on its own, separate from the game, which was cool. And the Rally adventure was very much the same again. 6 hours, I think it was, to finish it, but that was really quite good. It's a nice bridge between something like Dirt Rally and an arcade game. It was quite cool. So I finished that, played 7. Overcooked 2. My family have decided we're going to start playing that again quite heavily. So we've been playing loads of that 4-player, which is quite nice Saturday afternoon gaming. Then my wife and I decided to get addicted to doing all the DLCs again on the Switch version. So yeah, we've got one on our list. If we start playing that, I've been quite up for it. Still a great game, really cool. What else is on there? Minecraft Dungeons. I have finished that this month. Probably the first game as well with my son. It's an age now where it's not kind of just like you're playing games with the kids because it's just fun for them enjoying it. He really wanted to finish it as well, and we played it through as a proper dungeon crawler, and we smashed through it. I think 14, 15 hours on record, I think, for this month, I think, on that. Really good game, actually. It's like a childish Diablo, I suppose is the easiest way of putting it. But it does play really well, and the progression and the weaponry and the kind of leveling up system's really cool on it. So that's one thing we discussed between the two of us is we want to you can get a DLC everything pack for the PlayStation, I think it is. You get all the different islands and stuff you can play. I think it's £17. We're going to buy that in January so we can keep going and do more on it. What else have we got on there? Played loads of the finals with friends as well. That'll be 2 years in January that I've been playing that for. And I still love it as much as I did day one. And we were talking about Ark earlier on a little bit. Ark is the same studio, Embark, who made that, and I cannot wait to play Ark. I've got a few people who I know who are already playing it, who I did play the finals with as well, and said it's brilliant. So massively looking forward to playing that as well. The only other thing I've done as well, which is probably a bit stupid, is set my 360 up. And do you guys ever hear of Project Gotham Racing, the old Xbox franchise? The last one on the Xbox, the original Xbox, there was Project Gotham Racing 1 and 2. A precursor to that was Metropolis Street Racer, I want to say, on the Dreamcast, which was like this really amazing city racer. Then they made the other two on the Xbox, and then the 360 got PGR3 and PGR4. I think that's right as a timeline. Yeah. So I found my disc for Project Gotham Racing 4 and went, I wonder if my save's still in the cloud. Turns out it is, so I'm now playing that as well. And I cannot believe how good it looks for a game that must be nigh on 20 years old now. It plays so well. Like the engine noises are great, the car models are great, the handling system's good, and it's all based on a QDOS system, so you get it for drifting, decent corners, so it's kind of like an elevated version of like Forza does for you with your skill points. But it's great still, plays brilliantly. My old Xbox Elite is still plugging along, making shed tons of noise, playing it quite happily. So that's cool. Started playing that one again. Made me kind of sad, really, because Bizarre Creations, they made one game after that, which was a game called Blur, which was kind of mid PlayStation 3/Xbox life and was on PC as well. And it was almost like Mario Kart meets Project Gotham Racing. So you had like weapon power-ups and you do like proper circuit races and stuff. It was absolutely brilliant. And then they went out of business a year later, sadly, because it wasn't accepted. So it's a shame that we'll never see a game. Project Gotham holds like a special place in what it did and how it transformed arcade races on consoles for me quite a lot. It's one of the reasons I got an Xbox 360 for was I saw all the previews of how amazing the graphics looked on PGR3. If you go look on Google, it looks amazing still now. Like the car models for that time period were exceptional. So yeah, I feel compelled now to play this and then probably go back and play all the previous ones as well. So yeah, watch this space. I also found the disc for the original Forza Motorsport. That could be on the cards as well. Yeah, basically a lot of racing games as normal for me, but I am actually getting some finished, which is cool. That's me this month as far as games played.
I've just looked up the finals on Steam.
Yeah.
And they've got so much DLC or paid add-ons to it.
Yeah, it's a free-to-play game, and there is 3 different types of battle pass now, which is a little frustrating, but you can play the whole season. I haven't paid for a penny for it for 2 years. Let's put it that way. And I don't, apart from it's all cosmetic stuff, in all fairness, you don't lose anything, and you get points in the game which unlock the weapons and the peripheral kind of ancillary bits, and you still do unlock stuff. I've made enough in this season, points-wise, to unlock the season pass for the next season. So then I will get all the stuff, just because of the fact, just through playing it. So it's not a model that restricts success in the game at all.
Okay, that's good. I just couldn't believe the amount of free-to-play. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, the price thing, that's...
You have to pay for it, so...
Yeah, that's 20. I just looked a minute ago, it was $22.99 for the PC version unloaded, and the Xbox was like 28 or something. As is usual, the PlayStation, you can't buy it externally. They keep it on the store, but I don't know how much it'll be on there. But
the Xbox is a dead console now, isn't it?
Yeah, in theory. It's dead to me. They keep the price where it is. It's dead to me.
I'm not gloating, but yeah, I'm sad about that. We need this. Even as a PlayStation game player, we need this.
The vacuum that they're going to leave, though, the Xbox is currently about to be filled quite rapidly, though, isn't it, by the new Steam machine that's been announced?
Absolutely.
Isn't that a professional segue to the next topic?
So,
moving on.
Yeah. But I mean, that Steam machine, if they get the pricing right on that, they're absolutely going to kill it. If they can do that for about, I don't know, maybe 400, let's pretend they can do it for $399. That doesn't come with a controller and maybe like the bottom tier of storage. That's going to be a killer machine. I mean, generally speaking, when a new device is brought out, which obviously isn't applicable to a Steam machine, is the library of games. Can I play my favourite game on it? Well, heck, you've got the largest library of games possible, haven't you? You've got Steam. You ain't going to get any bigger library than Steam. Plus all them back catalogue games that you can pick up for 99p's and all kinds of stuff. You could have a wealth of games to play for little than 20 quid if you went on loaded stroke CD keys or other places. So yeah, so I think I did actually read as well that the Steam Deck had sold about 4 or 5 million units, which, let's be honest, isn't bad, all things considered. And the thing about Steam as well, or Valve as they are properly known, the guy that owns it, Gabe, he obviously, but also he hasn't been ever tagged or labelled as a corporate money grabber. He's always been kind of considered a little bit as giving to the community. Like his Steam Deck, he could have probably pumped another £200 onto that thing or another 150 quid onto that thing. People probably would have still bought it because at the time it was still actually considered as a relatively cheap handheld device, which actually worked as well, unlike some of these Windows-based devices where a lot of the performance is being sucked out of it because it's running Windows. By default, that's going to burn through processing power and battery power, whereas the Steam Deck, that punches so well above its weight. You want to play older games on that thing, you can definitely hook up to your TV. You can even set it to work in like 4K mode if you so desire, because it'll upscale, so it'll display as 4K. So yeah, absolutely fantastic. And also, if he does like a Game Pass, I named it as Gabe Pass. If he actually does a Game Pass, and he actually does some kind of like, I don't know, like it doesn't have to be old games on Steam, a sprinkling of old, a sprinkling of new, a sprinkling of, middling new games, he could smash it out of the park. He really could take away Xbox, who were already saying their machine's going to be a premium machine. Or Steam, man, they're in that vacuum and they're gonna suck up all them customers. And I think it really could take off in a big way this time around. I bet he sells a lot of units if the price is right. If he comes in at say like $799, I'll try to pick one up at a second-hand price at some point or other, but I ain't going to be a day one. But if he brought in at say $399, I'd be very tempted, very, very tempted to buy one.
Gig one and a 2 terabyte version, and I reckon it's going to be around that sort of money.
Well, if you watch it depends which one you watched. I watched the Digital Foundry one, and they pretty much took it to bits during the presentation at Valve. And to extend the space, the storage is meant to be dead simple. I don't think you even have to take it to bits much. I think it looks like it might be a panel on the side or something. You can just change the hard drive over. I think this says you can increase the RAM as well. So if you want to open it up, but you have to dig a little deeper to change the RAM. So you go from it's 8 gigabytes to say 16 gigabytes. Now people might say, it doesn't sound very powerful, but it's meant to do 4K, 60 frames per second via upscaling, which everything seems to do. Even if you've got some of the most powerful graphics cards, you can struggle to get that 60 frames per second. Yeah. So meant to be 6 times more powerful than the Steam Deck. And because it's so well optimized, which is what a PC is sadly lacking, is optimization, because there's so many varieties of everything. Well then, yeah, I think it could be a big thing. I think it could be massive.
With Steam OS on it as well, which is so insanely light, I think it's definitely got some legs on it. Absolutely. So I am watching it. I got to mention earlier on, Dbrand, who make all the covers for the PlayStation and everything. They've got a page which is literally a notify me page at the minute, which is a limited edition Steam machine, which is the companion cube from Portal. And it's like, yep, please notify me.
Oh, that'd be cool.
I'd say what would be a really cool idea. Now, that cover on the front of that thing is as squared and as plain as humanly possible, right? It is just literally a cube. If you had some kind of like vinyl printer, I bet you could be doing some custom covers because it's just a sticker, right? You're only going to be sending out someone like a rectangular sticker that can go on and be put round the corners and all the rest of it, yeah? If you had a bit of a vinyl printer, I bet you could be on to making some easy money because just selling the pretty much like a square of vinyl for it, doing custom ones for people as well. I bet you could do some really good money. And I bet if you had a 3D printer as well, could probably be printing off them covers and selling them as pop-on covers. I bet it's a good little homebrew business to be had out of that device.
With Dbrand behind it already with that case for the companion cube, you can guarantee that they will be able to make those front panels and it'll be kind of like pay us X amount, give us your design, we'll do it as you said and stuff like that. So it's a no-brainer, isn't it, really, for kind of making money. But it looks like such a cool little system. I mean, I watched it a couple of nights ago and it was like, cool, consoles pretty much are in trouble there. From anyone who's I mean, if you've got Steam Deck now, I mean, if you've got that and a Steam Deck, that's all you really need. I mean, the whole kind of thousands of pounds worth of gaming PC just pushes it out the window. If you think about how powerful the Steam Deck is, as you said earlier, there's nothing I've tried on there that runs badly. Everything seems to just work. I mean, it shouldn't, because at the end of the day, it's a pretty small AMD APU unit in it, but you add 6 times the power on that, you're up to mid-level gaming PC territory at least. So you're punching around like 40, 60, 40, 70 graphics schedule sort of thing, which is nuts. I mean, it does show how fast RDNA 3 is going to come from AMD, because it will be using a very similar core to what the 9070 is, and that is an utter powerhouse. It really is. So if they can make the most of that, fair play. They really can. It's only got 8 gig of VRAM, which is what people were complaining about.
It depends on what it is. I mean, if they can do it all correctly, that 8 gigabytes of VRAM, if it's used appropriately rather than wasted, and allegedly Steam do a lot of their own drivers their side, so they're actually optimizing these games and taking out, the need for all this extra power. I mean, at the end of the day, most PCs are brute forcing their way through a game. They're not optimized. They're brute forcing. It's all about you having the biggest possible graphics card, the biggest possible processors to brute force your way through the unoptimized games. They optimize to a point, but they can't optimize it perfectly for everything. Whereas Steam, man, this is what they're going to do. It's going to be optimized for all these games and a library of games you're going to be able to pick from. And I'll tell you what I was thinking as well the other day. Now, the Steam Deck, if you took off the controllers and took off the screen, I bet you could almost turn that into a cigarette packet size console.
Yeah. Well, someone did that, didn't they? They built one without a screen on it. It was tiny, I thought.
Well, I haven't seen that. I'd like to watch it. I imagine it's on YouTube. But I mean, that just goes to show you what can be done. Imagine that, like a cigarette-sized console. It's amazing, really. Absolutely amazing. So, yeah, I tell you what else I noticed as well. This month's games for PlayStation November, one of the games that was detailed on there, I'd first heard about this game via the guys over on Veteran Gamers. It was Stu that had played it. It's a game. It would not have appealed to me. It would not have struck me as one I should be playing. And it comes with November games, and it's called Thank Goodness You're Here.
Oh, yes.
Take a look on Steam. It gets mega reviews. Meant to be set in like England, in a northern town called Barnsworth, and you're like a travelling salesman. But the game is meant to be absolutely hilarious, and the reviews it gets on Steam suggest that it's well worth playing. It's overwhelmingly positive reviews on there, sort of like 5,
2-1, yes.
Yeah.
One of the guys at work was saying the same thing. It came out of nowhere. Someone told him about it on a WhatsApp chat, and he just bought it for like pennies or something, and it's hilarious. So yeah, I've heard about it, but I've completely forgotten until you just mentioned.
I think it's one of them games. A lot of people they'll look and say, "Oh, it's just another rubbishy game chucked in just to pad out this month's games." But what I will say as well, this month's games are actually of different types of games. I've played that Still Awakes the Deep, and I thought that were an excellent adventure game set on board an oil rig that's been taken over. And the situations that evolve, on there. Obviously, it's a bit of a horror sort of game. Really, really good. And the other games all look to be pretty good as well. Grand Theft Auto 5, people have obviously complained to the degree saying that, well, how many times are you going to give us this for free? Because I think it's been on and off the catalogue a few times. But anyway, we wait and see. But I mean, there's another piece of news as well. What about Grand Theft Auto 6 being pushed back?
Always going to happen, surely. I mean, they keep getting accused of crush coding like every game they do. And there was that whole thing. Was it 2 or 3 weeks ago? There was like someone they tried to unionize or something, and 14 people just don't work for them anymore.
No, something like 34 that. People.
Oh, was it?
Okay,
fair enough.
34.
It could be. Maybe I'm undercounting.
They had reached 250 members who were 250 members who wanted to be part of the union, and once they hit that number in the UK, they can be forced to be recognised by the company or something like that. So once they bring them below that number, they don't have to be recognised. So I'm not suspicious of that at all.
I've never been a member of a union, but what is the big deal about being a member of a union? Surely it must be like almost an employee's right to be a member of a union if you so desire.
But the other side of it is kind of like you're allowed to have a voice. So it's and I think that's where everything gets so wound up and crushed and misshaped by it all, is the kind of how much I should have as an employee and how much we should be giving you. And it's never, ever meets in the middle. I've dealt with people. When I was at Royal Mail years and years ago, when I was at college, I was just a collections driver in the evening. So I did it around college. All I did, picked up rural stuff, took it into Swindon Mail Centre, dropped it off, come home. That's all I did. And they had a strike under the union in Swindon. And to see the kind of how people come together when it's kind of like when they aren't happy was incredible, aggressive in some cases, but quite incredible. And you can see why they did it. It was around pay, work conditions, all that sort of thing. And that's everyone is entitled to have those conditions looked after in their job. And I totally get that. But it's just the way that sometimes it can be its weight is thrown around in an incorrect manner. It's misused as per anything. It's that whole kind of like with great power comes great responsibility thing, isn't it? To use the quote, because sometimes it's just like you do this or we'll walk out, and it could be a nothingness in some cases. I don't know. It's hard work. It's terrifying. It's kind of as terrifying to get into as politics, really, to be honest with you. But it's hard. You'd ask if you ask someone from either side, they are so polar opposites on why it's good and bad. It's nuts.
I think it is a legal right in the UK to be in the union, but it's I think it's when the game is coming out, was supposed to come out in a few months' time, or 6 months' time. This is all going to be crunch. I'm guessing the staff don't want to spend 80 hours a week getting ready. Rockstar is notorious for crunch.
Yeah.
Same thing happened with Red Dead 2 and the previous games. So I'm thinking they just want to have the rights protected, but I don't know. Didn't Rockstar came out and said that they leaked private data on the Discord server. So that's why they were fired. Yeah.
Exactly. There's a reason behind it, but it's I think it is scary for a business to have someone go, we're going to start a union, because it tips everything on its head. And I suppose for someone like Rockstar, when it's GTA 6, is basically that's their money for the next, 10, 15 years if they get it right. So if it puts a bad taste before it comes out, it's a big problem to have. So, I don't know.
Did you hear about the amount of money they've allegedly spent on GTA 6?
It's supersedes like the most expensive movie by some kind of multiplied factor or something. It's mental.
It's something like 2 billion is the figure I heard. Whether that's just a Chinese rumor type thing where it's got bigger and bigger, this number, as more and more people have spoken about it. But 2 billion, wow, you know what I mean? 2 billion. Imagine if they lost all the data. What would you do? 2 billion. Imagine if, well,
That's
pretty
crazy.
sweet, right? I wouldn't condone this kind of thing. Imagine if they got like ransomware. How much could you force their hand? Imagine how much would you ask for? 100 million, 200 million, 300 million. Well, I've got 2 billion invested in this. How much are you willing to pay me? Imagine that.
Yeah.
But
They
on
hacked
other
previously.
did they?
They released early code.
Yeah.
before.
Oh yes. Yeah.
Because they wouldn't pay up. So I don't know.
They should have ransomwared them. Imagine that. Flipping heck, the money that they're taking them for. But on other news from them, they're bringing out a PlayStation 5 version of the original Red Dead Redemption. It's meant to be coming out soon, which would be quite nice. Obviously, it's more just enhanced, probably 60 frames per second. It's not a remake, it's just not whichever. I can never quite work out which is one where they've just enhanced it. Is it a remake, remaster? Yeah, remaster.
The remaster is they put pretty bits on it, and remake is they ground up it, sort of.
That could be good, because that's another game that I bought on the Xbox, because it's one of them games that you can, if you bought an Xbox One, you put your Xbox 3 Series X, it'd give you the 60 frames, the 4K, I think it's 30 frames per second version. So, but it's coming out on PlayStation, so PlayStation 5 enhanced. So it's already out on PlayStation, I believe. But I think it's a PlayStation 4 version, but they're going to enhance it to PlayStation 5, which is kind of nice, because it is a game I would like to play. And they keep tempting us again with Red Dead Redemption 2 enhanced version on PlayStation 5, which I can't see why they've never released. I mean, they never do anything for free in any case, do they really? But I can't see why they've never ever enhanced that at 30 frames per second. They're just asking people not to play it almost in today's PlayStation community. So yeah, even if they just put a 60 frames per second patch on it, I don't think it'd have broke the hearts to do that. That can't be difficult to do, really. Not from their point of view, surely.
GTA 4 was 100 million. GTA 5 was 200.
Oh, God.
And then GTA 6 is up to 2 billion. The thing underneath it says that they're potentially, this shift back from May to November might cost them $500 million.
If you think about it as well, the amount of time GTA 5 has been released, GTA 6 is potentially going to be another 12 years in between making the next game. And in 12 years' time, I mean, goodness knows, I'm like 50 odd now. I'll be past retirement. It's amazing, really, the amount of time that game's going to be used for or whatever. But
more time to play games.
Yeah, it's got to be a game that they're obviously crafting it to the extreme, aren't they? Because they know if any haters jump on board on that and it gets a hate wave going off, man. That game, I wouldn't say it's going to bomb, but it will knock big figures off their sales initially. So, but yeah, we'll wait and see. I played GTA 5. I've never finished GTA 5, and that's because I think I originally played it on Xbox 360, got like a good portion of the way through. I got to this point, I couldn't get past it, where you got to go in like a helicopter and fly through these hoops or something. Just couldn't do it. It timed out on me every time. I just couldn't quite make it through that section. And then I think I got it on PlayStation 4. And then because I'd already played it quite a bit on Xbox 360, you kind of lose interest because it's the same story. So yeah. So I don't know, but yeah, we wait and see.
We talked about earlier the PS5 prices in Japan PS5 sales in Japan haven't been as high as they would like. Where's I got the prices? And Amazon Japan at the moment was 69,000 yen, which works out to be about, oh god, where's it, 340 sterling, and it's going to drop to 55,000 yen, which is 270. So you're going from 340 to 270 sterling for the digital edition. So it's a saving of 70 quid, which isn't bad but it's a Japanese language only. I don't know if you can flash them. Would you be able to flash with why are they available?
Yeah, I think you set your country at the beginning, don't you? When you first turn it on, generally you sort of set it to whatever language. Because I mean, if you buy a console in Europe, because we get the European version over here, we've obviously got Italian, French, German, whatever else. Anything you fancy, it'll be on there. So I guess they've just taken that part out.
Yeah, I imagine it might be firmware or something where it won't give you the language packs if you download the wrong OS. It just goes, no, that's it. You can't do that. Sorry, it's just incompatible with this system or something.
Yeah, I know. Obviously, you can speak the language over there, Brian, but from a
well, better than us.
I try.
Yeah, but from a totally zero experience Japanese. I mean, if I look at maybe say a little bit of French or German, I can't speak French or German other than the basics, but I might be able to sort of fumble my way through what something's saying on a screen, or I can at least translate it quite quickly on Google. But whereas with Japanese writing, that really is a total mystery. To look at from an English written point of view, it is a totally different look and style, isn't it? So you really wouldn't want to have one of them consoles.
I know I have two accounts on PlayStation. I don't have from the UK. I've also got a local one. So at some stage, if I buy games here on disc, but I didn't want to give me grief over the fact the console says it's a UK console. So I've got a Japanese account. But if I go to PlayStation Store on my PlayStation, despite the fact that I have the language set in English, the PlayStation Store only displays in Japanese. There's no option to change the language on the store. They are quite limited. A lot of the apps over here are the same problem as well. They won't respect the OS of language in the phone. So it's the same thing. But it frustrates me no end if I go looking on the Japanese store for stuff. But I don't know. I guess if you try to use, like I have to use in work, I can set the laptop language to English, but I can't set Office. So your Word, Excel, and PowerPoint, I can't change the languages in those. They're all set. But it's really frustrating. I was really trying to work in the operating office in a different language is really difficult. And half the time I've got, because when you use Word or Excel, where all the options are. There's even the search button in it nowadays to look for stuff. But when it's in a different language, it becomes really fucking frustrating and difficult. So much so that I do most of my stuff now online and don't use Office anymore. But I will have to try and use Japanese only PlayStation. If you're not fully fluent, I think it'd be quite difficult. I don't know. The new games may all be in Japanese as well. Okay, Craig, remember all this.
You've heard nothing. Craig, you've heard nothing.
Just you, Craig. Just all this. Somebody's peeping around.
Well, perfect timing.
Okay, done.
Fantastic. Me too.
Right. Okay, so we got this. Is it this month's that have been released? Is that right? November stuff. Actually, I was just thinking about that PlayStation screen. I brought it up when we were talking about it.
Oh, yeah?
It's really weird. It's only a 1440p resolution panel.
Yeah, what's the refresh rate? It's really high.
Up to 240 apparently, but
I don't know if they go for pro gamers, Twitch gamers.
It's weird, isn't it? Because it kind of makes you point the question again. It's just like, well, this 4K console, then you officially bought a screen out yourself that doesn't do 4K.
Yeah.
Well, the same PlayStation takes up to 8K.
Yeah, actually the Pro, exactly. So it's like quad high definition IPS display for 2650 by 1440 resolution, so players can game at a comfortable viewing distance from their desk. That's why they don't. Maybe that's why.
Do you ever watch Optium Tech on YouTube? He's into PCs and the peripherals. He's printed his own gaming mouse. He does a lot of reviews on monitors, 4K stuff like that. But he's big into FPS games. A lot of his monitors that he goes for tend to be really high refresh rates and going into 300 and something refresh rate. Just try to get the edge when you're playing games. So I don't know. I can see that type of refresh rate being good for PC gaming.
And it's great for that. I mean, it's great in general. I mean, yeah, PC stuff. I mean, I can run, again, my only example I have is the finals, but I can hit 240 FPS in that, no problem at all. And it does, I guess it makes a difference. I don't know. I'm too shy to make a difference. I don't have the reactions of that. I am an old person and I'm struggling. Yeah. But, I mean, I imagine if you can do 240, apparently it's better for accuracy, better for gaming, and it gives you an advantage because obviously everyone's not going to be running at 240 hertz or 240 frames a second. But I mean, it makes I don't know if it makes a difference or not. The game runs smoothly for me, but there's part of it as well that I'd rather hard lock it to something so it's like nice and silky smooth rather than having peaks, sort of thing, if you will. But
Yeah, I agree with that totally. If you
I mean,
could
it
stick
takes
it
a
on
lot to run
the whole
something
time, or
solidly. Yeah, it takes a lot to
yeah,
run something 240 FPS all the time. I mean, 5090 might do it, but I don't have £3 to spend on a graphics card. But I mean,
yeah,
I'll get 300 FPS, but you get into a fight close range with lots of stuff around you, that drops to mid 150, 160, which I mean, is still not bad, but it's not solid 240. I don't know.
Yeah, it becomes jarring, doesn't it? Any kind of FPS
that's it.
on a PC, you could be happily years ago. 60 frames per second used to be like, the thing to aim for. And if you watched it drop down to 40 or 50 in a little place, it just send you a bit bonkers. You end up going into the settings, changing the graphics, messing about, changing line of LOD, line of distance, whatever it is. And you just spend more time tweaking the game than you would actually playing the game. That's part of the fun of a PC, right? Is the tweaking. So I get it. I enjoy doing a tweaking of a game, but yeah, it's not quite. I was looking at because I on my desk I use a TV as a monitor. It's a 43-inch TV. It's 4K, not expensive, couple of £100, and it's absolutely perfect because I have to have multiple windows open for doing my buying and selling and such like. So it's a perfect size, and 43 you might think it's too big, but it's actually just nice. And one thing that I pondered doing. They had the 42-inch OLEDs last year. Towards the end of the year, when the OLEDs are going out and the new models coming in, they can drop drastically. And the 42-inch version used to be quite expensive, and they dropped the 42-inch version and the 48-inch version, which I think would be a bit too big as a monitor on your desk. But it can work. But the problem is with OLED, you'll get your 144 frames per second, etc., which would be probably perfect for my needs. If I was gaming on it. But the problem is I'm going to use it as an office type screen as well. And if I don't want to be burning all my crazy text and all my windows that are open for multiple hours during the day into the OLED. So, and I actually was looking, my TV that I use here is a Hisense, and for £250, which is almost like the perfect sort of price for me, really, you can go get a 43-inch Hisense TV, and it's 144 hertz as well. So for gaming,
Quite impressive.
yeah, that's perfect. And plus, I'm not going to burn no images into it. It'll either be IPS or LCD, whichever. But if they go one step further and make it mini RGB as well, mini LED, sorry, mini LED, although they do believe they do one now called mini LED RGB or something. Well, then that would be even better because then you start to get that decent contrast as well. So I would probably, if I was getting back into PC gaming, I'll probably spend £250 on that particular screen because 144 hertz. I'd say that's going to give me everything I could possibly want for the next few years. And 43-inch, that really takes up your vision. It's just right.
Yeah, I mean, weeks back I did the deal on. I think there's a 40 ultra wide, so same as I've got a 34 ultra wide. They've got a 40. It is with 165 hertz refresh on it, £289. I mean, that is a big panel.
Yeah.
I physically cannot fit it on my desk, so I can't buy it because it will just be ridiculous. But it's a hell of a screen for not a lot of money.
Yeah. I mean, they used to be top dollar. That were like a thing to aspire to. We're getting a screen that big with that kind of hertz on it. That was, but you see, that's where, like you were talking about 5090s as well. You go buy these better monitors. Well, then now you need a better graphics card. You probably need a better processor as well to push the graphics card because if the processor's a bottleneck, and vice versa, it all gets a little bit bonkers, So, yeah, PC can be a very expensive experience if you want it to be. But then again, that's where the new Steam machine might just come in and, a bit of, yeah, absolutely.
Let's move on.
What I thought about a long time ago, when we were back in England, I thought about widescreen monitor. I used to game at my desk, PC and PlayStation, but PlayStation will not respect widescreen monitors. They just because it has a set.
No, it won't do ultra wide. No, the max resolution it will do is 1440. That's why Sony have said it at that. 1440 is the widest you can get on it. If you try and go ultra wide, with extend it to 3440. It's not a native resolution they've set it to.
Yeah, but annoying.
Should have a nice black bar down the other side.
Yes, exactly.
That said, it took 2 years for the PC developers to actually start making games that would run in ultra wide. When I first got it, when I was 40th birthday, so 3 odd years ago, literally the games on that, there's so many games that didn't have it on their native, and you have to literally have everything stretched or naffed up interfaces and stuff because it just couldn't work it out. I know Diablo Diablo 2 resurrected, sorry, when they bought it out, because it was coded off the original engine to all intents and purposes in the background. You couldn't run it ultra wide because the game couldn't work out where you were, so it couldn't mob you. So they could only run it in ultra wide. They could only run it in 1440 rather than ultra wide. So the game physically couldn't support it. But a lot of stuff now does support it, and I'm very happy it does, because ultra wide is bloody amazing as far as gaming goes. So the field of vision on stuff is incredible.
Yeah, immersion with it. Love that.
Yeah, absolutely so. Right, what do we got next? This month's releases. Is that what we're looking at as far as stuff goes for November? Being so we are halfway through it. Is that what we go next?
Yeah,
Sure.
go for it.
I'm going through the Kotaku Bible for the month of what stuff they've got coming out. There's a few things I'm looking at here, like with movies, to be honest with you, with me. It's just like the stuff that's there, I'm going, what the hell is that? A game called Quarantine Zone, Last Check, which is PC only, which apparently is an indie horror sim. Zombie research something. Don't know.
One of the games that's coming out on PlayStation and Xbox and PC is Siberia, the remastered version, which is a bit of a classic. Yeah, a bit of a classic PC game. I've never really played it. It's a game that sort of passed me by, but based on watching on YouTube the remastered version and how they've enhanced it, etc., I think it'd be a sort of game I would like to have a go at.
I played it a long time ago. The original version a long time ago, and I lost my save, so I never went back to it.
That's the worst thing,
so
in
far,
it. You lose a save. Yeah. That's my pet hate. Any loss of save, just a nightmare. Football Manager came out as well, didn't it? But it's the beta version. So and it's obviously, he said, a massively delayed launch as well, because they cancelled it last year. But yeah, Football Manager. But they're saying that I don't know, it's not right. It's still not working as it should be, really. But it is the beta version. So, but I think they were pretty much their arms were a little bit forced into releasing it, because if they did release it, well, then you might as well miss another year, because the football season will have finished. What's the point in releasing it? So
I was it was a beta thing. I mean, when was that? They made a massive noise about it, and people I know who love spreadsheets have made lots of noise over it as well, because that's pretty much what it is. But I mean, yeah, I didn't realise it would come out as a beta state. That's a bit.
Yeah, well, Kevin, the guy from Mature Gamer podcast, Kevin Chapman, I couldn't remember his name earlier. He pretty much makes a living from doing Football Manager streams and such like. And for a whole year, they basically, kind of cut his income in half, because he had to pivot onto doing other things, which he did. He started doing Lego, building things, a few travel videos as well. And luckily that's, seen him through. I don't think he's gone without, etc. But I think it's had a big hit. So he was absolutely buzzing that the game was coming out on one of the podcasts. And then the following podcast, he was pretty much saying that, yeah, it isn't a bit of a beta phase, and you can see what they're trying to do, but it's not kind of working perfectly. It sounds like as if they tried to squeeze it so it works perfectly on a console via a controller, but that's not translated so well to the PC guys, because it's too clunky for them. Whereas previously it was a bit clunky on a console because it wasn't really designed with a controller in mind. So they've kind of like hit this somewhere in the middle where I don't think, no one's really happy. And also,
I heard they used to have two versions, more or less. They had a PC and a console version. What they've brought out now is just the one version to try and get across both, and everybody's a bit pissed.
Yeah. That's the oldest saying in the book. You can please some people, but you can't please all the people all of the time, can you? Somebody you can please some of the people some of the time. Yeah, so it seems like, well, they got to get it right, haven't they, basically?
Yeah, screwed up.
Well, we live in Football Manager. But the easiest game in the universe to put together. Why I say that, it's probably not the back end, but.
What about that as well, the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition? Did you hear about the controversy about that?
What for Fallouts? No, I didn't know.
Yeah, well, the Fallout 4 Anniversary Edition has just come out. If you already own the base version of the game, well, then you can just buy what they call the Creator add-on, which basically allows you to have extra different mods and such like to the game, and you don't have to rebuy the DLC if you've already bought it. But people are complaining like mad, saying it's broken. Obviously, all the mods, like it's a big modding community, it's the Fallout community, so they're all complaining about the mods. People are complaining about the price, because if you want to buy the game now, well, pretty sure I would suggest, because the game's been out for like 10 years or thereabouts, that you could have probably bought this on loaded or CD keys, like the complete edition with all the downloads, excluding the new bit they've just added on, which is the creator mode, for probably about £8, if not less. Because it's been out so long, maybe even a fiver. Well, all of a sudden now, well, it's $59.99, and they haven't really changed a great deal. All they've done is added on the creator mode. I mean, don't get me wrong. I know for them, I like the game. I think it's an excellent game, and it plays brilliantly on a Steam Deck, and I've no complaints about the game. But I'd be a bit miffed if I was going to be buying it now and it all of a sudden £60. You can buy it previously, so yeah. So that's a bit of a shame, is that as well. But they seem to, even Fallout 76, which I think is an excellent game, had a really rough launch, etc. They generally do with these Fallout games. They start off in pure controversy. I can't say a word. So they always start off like bad. They just do not do. Everyone hates it to begin with. It's just not, well optimized, etc. So, but obviously they're making shed loads of money off them games now, because obviously the new Fallout season on TV is coming out, which I massively enjoyed. Fallout on Amazon was amazing, absolutely amazing. What a show! I mean, you would think that how well could it translate to the screen? That perfectly, absolutely perfectly. So
yeah, Walter Cognance was brilliant.
Yeah,
excellent,
brilliant,
really good show.
I'm looking through the stuff that's coming out. There's a game in there called Egging On that seems to be a physics simulator around chicken eggs. I just went to go and do a search for it on YouTube, and it's just like there's a world record of completing it in like 20 minutes or something already. Oh, okay.
I was looking through the list, and there's a couple of games coming out for Switch 2, which kind of sums up Switch 2 at the moment, really. Yakuza Kiwami 1 and Yakuza Kiwami 2, which are those, I can't remember the name of the game. What series is it from now? But it's the Yakuza series, basically. The Yakuza games. Well,
Like a Dragon?
Yeah, Like a Dragon, but it's the previous ones to them. I mean, really, they're not even new releases. All they're going to be is sort of like up-res, blah, 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 something that doesn't play very well. Switch 2, man, is not getting any love. Not any, like, dedicated Switch 2 games. And
it's kind of turned into this all work now machine, isn't it? Really, a little bit.
You will get dips of your 30 frames per second games. Oh, fantastic! I'm glad I paid all that money for a new Switch 2. So and I think people have also started to understand there's not a lot of real need to change from a Switch to a Switch 2 right now. Maybe in 2 or 3 years' time, when they've really got something that's the Switch. They might bring out the new Zelda game or something and say, "I'm sorry, guys, it was either be the best game possible ever on Switch 2, and we can't release it on Switch 1. We're really, really sorry about that." But that might be in 2 or 3 years' time. Nintendo won't just do that right now. So that'll be the only time to really have to switch across to another machine. And even then, if you so decide, you could probably emulate the Switch 2, no problem in any case. So whatever. But it is a shame. I don't think they're really getting treated particularly well with Switch 2 releases. I think they're being a bit shafted, really.
It's look at it, and I keep thinking, there's more Steam. There's more Switch 2 releases this month. I wonder. It's just something else again. Like, okay, Mario Galaxy 1 and 2, phenomenal games, but come on, they're just Mario. That's not even Switch games. That's a Wii game.
Yeah,
it's gone back even further. So it's just a bit odd. It's a strange. It feels like it's lost as a console. I mean, I haven't heard of anything great come out. Every advertisement is Donkey Kong. It's still now. It's like 3-4 months later. Anything on television is either Mario Kart or Donkey Kong. It's like, well, where's everything else? I mean, at least the Switch 1 came out and that had games that no one had ever heard of, but it was making use of the hardware. So like games like ARMS, and it was just like the arms on bungee cords thing, and it was a fighting game, but it was really decent because it just showed off what the Switch was capable of. I don't know, yeah, it's a little bit disappointing. It kind of pushes me further away from wanting a Switch 2 and goes that whole just get an OLED thing, because I've got a massive library of stuff that was great anyway, and I can just play on a nicer screen.
People are still complaining about the Switch 2 in the respect of the screen, although it is a very nice big screen. It's slurry, the I can't remember the correct phrase for the the time.
Yeah, the refresh and everything, and the
refresh rate
and stuff.
Yeah, it's pretty poor, and also the battery life is not very good at all. It's not a step backwards; it's a step forward, but with other things being a step backwards. It should have perhaps come out with an OLED screen, but perhaps they couldn't have done it at that price point. And the battery life probably would have been better for an OLED screen. That's generally one of the advantages of an OLED screen, is that you do get better battery performance.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, I mean, you're not listening, Nintendo, but come on, give us some decent first-party titles, basically. I mean, Metroid,
Yeah.
I'm excited about. As long as they do a really good job of that, the new Metroid Prime game should be pretty amazing. I haven't played a Metroid Prime game that isn't fantastic, so, I mean, that's been quite a big thing. But a lot of the stuff you see, and that's the only exciting thing I've had on my Nintendo announcements from YouTube in the last 3 months is Metroid Prime. And it's just like, I can't wait for that to come out. That's been saying it's going to happen since Metroid Prime 3 on the Wii, and hasn't. So thank goodness it is. But yeah, it's a little bit disappointing for the Switch too. I mean, hopefully we'll get to have a month where it looks exciting for it, bless it, to be honest with you. But I mean,
Yeah.
watch
I
the
won't
space
knock.
still.
I won't knock Nintendo in the respect of them being, they do their own thing and they do their own thing very well. The Zelda games, Mario games, no complaints. I mean, even if they only ever released Zelda and Mario games on it, a Switch 2 potentially is worth buying just for them games, for them exclusives. It's well worth buying in that respect. But yeah, it's not good. Not exciting, I don't think, release-wise.
It's a shame. It's a shame. I watch the space. Don't feel better. But no. In the meantime, I thought myself anything else. So that's good to know. So if you don't know Switch 2, you're in luck still at this point. What was I just scroll past now? Oh, The Last Caretaker. That looked quite cool. I mean, did I send you the trailer of that? It's kind of like you're the last robot on Earth and you're on an oil rig, and you're the last robot running and the last thing on Earth, effectively, and you try to create things out of scrap. I think to then create a rocket to start the world again, sort of thing, is the intention. It does look quite cool.
I've heard of it for some reason. Maybe it's what you did send it. Yeah. Well, the graphics look good.
Yeah, it does look quite pretty. It's almost like a Portal style game is the kind of feeling I get from it. Portal meets Alex, the VR game that was on the Steam stuff. You kind of got to go around and use scraps and build things up.
Oh yes, you did send this. Yeah.
And that's just been released as well, hasn't it? The new Call of Duty game, which I haven't delved into what the controversy is, but allegedly the story, like the campaign mode, the campaign mode, the story version is meant to be ridiculous. I'm not sure what's ridiculous about it, but it seems to have caused some uproar. So
is it like 5 minutes long, like all the other ones?
I don't know. It's probably just ridiculous.
They
usually can be quite. Yeah.
I haven't played on a long time now.
The campaign is set in 2035 and follows a team of agents continuing narrative from previous titles. Players engage in various missions that explore the aftermath of the events of Black Ops. Okay. Gameplay mechanics. Campaign with 11 missions. For the first time, it will feature shared progression system with multiplayer and zombie modes. It means the experience points gained in one will be shared in the other. Dynamic difficulty, integration with multiplayer. The final mission of the campaign will transition into a multiplayer experience, allowing up to 32 players to participate in a shared environment. I mean, it doesn't sound horrendous. I mean, the fact that you all come together for a collaborative goal at the end of the career feels quite good.
Yeah, I think it's more people complain, that have played it. So I'm not sure how it plays out. It might be really wooden acting or a terrible voice acting. I don't know what the actual issue was, but I did flick by some YouTubes and stuff, and they were moaning about. You could tell it were a moan about type video sort of thing.
Oh my god! Okay, yeah, I've just literally read the first line. Many of the problems the fans are having with single player are technical ones, mainly relating to the game's across a bit screen always online nature. For example, when playing solo, you cannot pause the campaign at any point. Perhaps worse, there appears to be no checkpointing at all. So if you die, you restart the mission completely.
Yeah, I don't like that going back to the beginning. I like a checkpoint. You've got to have a checkpoint. I mean, I can sometimes commend a game because of the amount of checkpoints that's in a game. And so to have no checkpoints on a mission where you could get destroyed, I'm a bit like,
I mean, that's no checkpoint. I mean, it's good. Yeah, checkpoints kind of give you almost an element of tenseness to the game where you have to try and get to that checkpoint. Otherwise, you are screwed, which I think is quite nice. Yeah, that's weird. It's a strange decision from their part to completely remove that. People are complaining about the lack of AI companions. Even when you're playing solo, you have to engage in the game's online lobbies to enter a campaign. The campaign itself is also coming under fire. Activation made it no secret the game's story would be exploring some of the more surreal territory, but players aren't too pleased with the actual missions and content. God knows what they've done, to be honest with you. It seems that in the worst ways possible, Battlefield has gone, here's Battlefield, but exceptionally good and up to date, and COD have gone, look, we've all been on horse tranquilizers for the weekend. So that seems to be what they've gone with it.
It used to be like that though, didn't it? Where one year one would be good, and then the next year the other one would be good. And there were a bit of a vice versa thing going off.
Wasn't it? Battlefield 3 was great, and then COD was naff, Wasn't COD the one where it was the Advanced Warfare one where it was futuristic, weirdly enough, that really sucked. And then the next year, Battlefield 4 was okay, but not that much better than Battlefield 3, and then COD got it right. I can't remember. The problem is I've never really been invested enough in either of them. I liked Battlefield, but I haven't played a COD game and really enjoyed it probably since Black Ops 1, maybe. The single player stuff went downhill fast, and that was more the draw for me than the multiplayer side of it, which is probably people would probably shout at me about that because that's not in the spirit of Call of Duty anymore. But have you both played the Call of Duty Modern Warfare 1, so COD 4? The campaign on that was exceptional, and so was Modern Warfare 2.
Yeah.
They were both really, really good, and that's still the pinnacle of Call of Duty games, I think, for me. The Modern Warfare remake is meant to be decent, which I haven't played yet, I have to admit, but it's now available to us because of Game Pass. But yeah, I would go back and play the COD 4 campaign again. I remember that being an absolute epic. The bit with the ghillie suit when you're going through Chernobyl in the grass and stuff was amazing.
Yeah, I love that series of games. I did play online as well. The modding scene in the community was really good. We had one that's reskinned the whole game as was it Mosley? It was the Star Wars
Mos Eisley.
Mos Eisley, that's one. They played this reskinned the whole thing as that time, and it was really cool. Some German modders to it. But yeah, I loved that called back then. I then went to Battlefield 3, but after that I sort of fell off. I didn't have a PC for for some reason I never got back into them. But yeah.
Again, the October started November. That was the. Don't remember the ukulele game that came up. It was meant to be kind of revamped version of Banjo Kazooie. They've now Yuka replayedly.
I got the original version. It's good.
Yeah, me too.
It's a good game.
And they seem to have remastered that now in 4K. So, the stupid thing is, it's just like, oh, you get it for like £3 cheaper if you own the original. You're like, oh, come on. It's a £25 game still.
My most important question for that would be, because I've not played it extensively, I've put 6-7 hours into it. Can I use my original save? If I can't use my original save, I ain't going to buy it. It's the sort of thing I pick up on from Loaded or wherever, CD keys, for maybe say £3 or £4 in say like 12 months time when it's dropped through the floor of the price. But if I can't use my previous save, I'm just not going to do it. I'm not got that big an incentive to start it all the way from the beginning again. It's not going to happen.
I think on the games I played, I love Banjo Kazooie and Banjo Tooie off the N64, and I got a decent way through it, but never finished it. So I'd be exactly the same boat as you. If it forces me to drop whatever it is, 5-6 hours of game time, you're all right. I just won't bother going with it. I'll play it with slightly worse graphics on the Steam Deck, where it still looks lovely. Thanks, that'll do.
It looks nice on the Steam Deck. It plays wonderfully. You can turn it up pretty high, no issues at all. These are a couple of games that are on Switch 2 this month. As you got Hades 2 coming out, but I dare say that could have been on Switch 1. The new Hyrule Warriors, but I don't like them kind of Zelda games. I'm not a big fan of that way, just killing lots of mobs.
Was it Dynasty Warriors it's based off? That's right, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't like they're not my cup of tea, unfortunately, them sorts of games. One game that's coming out on PlayStation, which was an Xbox exclusive, and I have played it on Xbox because I played it on Game Pass. Stalker 2, Heart of Chernobyl's coming out on PlayStation 5, which is a game I would like to maybe get my teeth into. It looks like my kind of game, does that?
I'd like to go back to those. I mean, we spoke about it at the start of the year when they were really cheap for the pair or the first one or whatever it was, and I was like, oh, that's gutting. Because I remember playing it on the PC when it first came out, and my machine was probably like, I don't know, a tenth of the power of what it is now, and it struggled so much with it. Their original engine was a bit of a mess, to be honest with you, and it wasn't even that great looking, but it murdered PCs all over the shop and crashed, and I never really put enough time into it. So, I mean, the temptation to go back and play the original one, whatever it was, what was the first one called? Is that Shadow of Chernobyl? I can't remember now.
I've got them all on PlayStation 5. There was a glitch when it first got released. It was meant to be £30 for all the 3 games, but there were a glitch where you could get all 3 games for a tenner. It was like on Hot UK deals or something.
Oh, right.
And it was like for like about a 24-hour period. So you either bought it then or you didn't. And I got all 3 games for like a tenner. So...
Oh, nice.
But they did change that. But I believe now it's part of PlayStation Premium in any case now, based on the amount of time I've put into them. But it does work well now with the controller, because like you, I've played it originally on the console, but it was meant to be a game where you really needed to do a lot of modding to get the best out of it. If you wanted to play it today and enjoy it today. you wanted to do a lot of modding. Is he on the list that you think looks good there, Brian?
The main game I would love to play is something that just came out is 1000x Resist or 1000 times Resist.
Just
The
drop that
game,
on.
yeah, it came out on PC last year on other people's best ofs for the year. But it looks good. It's supposed to be amazing. And I really want to try it.
I'll have to give it a quick Google because it's a title or a name it'd have passed me by if you never mentioned it. So
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah. I'm going off memory now, but you play a character. There's a apocalypse. There's only you playing a character. You're basically all clones. So you're the only person who survived, or you're the original person is the only person who survived the actual calamity, and you've all got different roles. So somebody might be the librarian, somebody might be something else, and that's what their character is, the role. I've no idea what happens in the game, but everybody keeps raving about this being a really good narrative story in the game. I'm really struggling to remember that, but I think the people who made this, it was during COVID. They were all they all lived in one city, and they came together and made their artists or actors from a theatre group. So they came up with the script and all the voice acting. So the voice acting in the game is really,
I must admit,
don't know much more.
I'm watching it now on Steam because that's where it's available on PC, and it gets overwhelmingly positive reviews. It came out, like you said, on PC originally, like a year ago, and the videos that they're showing, they say it's groundbreaking. And it's a game I would never even have entered my vision to like give it a go. So yeah, thanks for mentioning that. I would never ever considered that one. That does look good. I'll put it on my. I've got a bit of a list going of what I would like to play. In the beginning of next year. So yeah,
January 1st.
Fantastic. Yeah,
that's one game I'm looking forward to. I was so upset when I found out it wasn't on PlayStation or it wasn't on console, but I'm forgetting it, which is good.
Well, it's like $16.99 on PC, so potentially it's only like $16.99 on PlayStation. I've not checked them, and I'll type it in. Let's have a little look. It might be a pretty cheap game, which is always nice, isn't it? When they're releasing a game and it's it's not 40, 50, 60 quid. I mean, based on its reviews, if it's $16.99, it's the sort of game you think, well, I'll give that a go. So let's type it in.
Try, yeah.
Like that with Battlefield.
That's good for $70.
Yeah, $15.99 on PlayStation. It's a no-brainer, isn't it?
Yeah.
You don't even mind buying it digitally, right?
Yeah, that's good. Good.
Opposite end of the spectrum to Battlefield, which the guys at work said, "Oh, you should get Battlefield. It's brilliant. It's really good." I'm like, "How much is it?" $69.99. Sorry, that's not happening. I'm not spending £70 on a computer game. I can't do that.
How would you feel about paying £100 for GTA 6? That's what they're talking about in the first.
I'll wait it out. I'll wait it out, to be honest.
That'd be such a great game to flip.
So we mentioned GTA 6 being released end of next year. So anybody who's thinking about doing this next year, don't worry about it. GTA 6 will be pushed to 27, so you won't have to worry about the FOMO of missing out on GTA 6.
Yeah.
And
do the year next year.
You probably had the best year for PlayStation Plus games ever, I think, as well. So you're nice ground to work off for the next 12 months.
Yeah, but I don't know. That's about the only game I'm really looking forward to.
Yeah, it does look good.
There was one at the end of last month, which was a game called Recreation that was coming out, which is made by Three Fields Entertainment, who used to be part of the people who left Criterion Studios. They were all the guys that designed all the Burnout games, if you ever played them years ago. I loved Burnout. It was a quality, really, really good franchise. And they've tried to make 2 games since, and they've made Dangerous Driving, which was meh, and really disappointing. And this one promised an absolute load. It's taken 2 years to come out, and it's come out, and it's completely meh. So I'm glad I've missed that one and didn't spend money on it. So that was gutting, but good at the same time.
Recreation is still WRECK.
Yeah. Apparently it's good, and it has all the kind of the good bits of Burnout, what it was, and it follows the proper style of a Burnout game, but then it's completely flat after that, which is exactly the same problem that Dangerous Driving had. It was literally just, it played like an old Burnout game from the GameCube. Great, but I'm not going to pay you current money for it. Shame, really. They could have done something decent with it.
Would either of you have been interested in The Outer Worlds too?
Yeah,
I haven't
definitely.
played the first one.
I finished the first one. Loved it.
Yeah?
Yeah, really enjoyed it. It's well worth playing. I'm definitely want to play it. Well, they're my kind of game, Borderlands 4, Outer Worlds 2. Shoot is, yeah, definitely. I can't wait to play that.
I used to always get mixed up with The Outer Wilds.
Yeah, I did that all the time when it first came out. It's a totally different game as well, but allegedly a very, very good game. It's meant to be highly rated, The Outer Wilds.
I played it, finished it, and I will never touch that game again. The puzzles are so fucking difficult. It's really
Yeah.
difficult. I also had there's a section of the game I missed before, and you had to fly a spacecraft through an area, set it up to fly and not touch the controls, because every time you moved, you were going to be the enemies would spot you and attack you, basically. But I had pushed my controller, so I had to fight the controller just so I could try and get through this section. I don't know how many times I did it. I take the controller, blowing into it to try and clean it, go again. And it took me ages to finish that game. There is an expansion to it as well that's supposed to be really, really good. But I keep saying really, really exceptionally good. But I'm not going to go there. It takes too much brain power for me. So
Yeah, I thought it was this month. Was that Escape from Duckov or whatever you said? That I haven't really looked into that much.
I'm not sure when that came out. It's
I thought you said it was this month / last, but I could be wrong.
Strangely enough, though, when I look through November, although my gaming radar is perhaps not as tuned in as what it would normally be if I was looking at whatever's coming next, FOMO, like I would be normally, like in a regular year. It's not exactly an outstanding November, is it, really? There seems to be a lot of indie stuff in there.
Yeah.
There's obviously some big titles, but I'm wading through. I mean, I'm on Euro Gamers, and they do put all the indie games and all the little PC games there as well. But I'm wading through the list, and I'm a little bit hard pushed to kind of pick something out that I'm, desperately would want to play. Really.
Same bug a little. I mean, that migration was kind of but I mean, so it's actually decent. There was one last month that came out that I think again I sent you a trailer of. I think it got delayed till this month. That Absolom, or whatever it's called, which is like a roguelike beat 'em up game. So that looked pretty decent, and that was kind of a .mu game made by Garcrush, same people who did all the Streets of Rage remakes and stuff. So it's kind of part indie, but which looked quite good. But I mean, there's the last 2 months there were some big titles in there, but otherwise it's basically just a rush of indie stuff. Lumines looks like good if you've got music games. There's an Anno game again with a different number attached to it.
I've seen quite a few of the regular YouTubers that I watch. It's popped up on their, review feed or whatever, but it's not my sort of game, so I haven't really bothered to look at it. But I imagine it's probably, they are meant to be big games out there, Anno games.
And that Terminator 2D game that was like a platformer, like proper retro style, was meant to be coming out this month and has been delayed till December. We had never heard of like a retro pixel art game be delayed before for quite a long time, at least anyway. So that's moved from the 26th of this month of November out into December. Not quite sure why.
I think we recorded last October 5th. I think we recorded games. We released it like to be a week to edit myself. But Little Nightmares 3 came out after we did the last. Or did we talk about it last time?
I think we mentioned it was coming, but I think it was out. That's what it was. I think it was meant to come out. I don't know if it did.
I think it's quite short and the price is quite high, so people aren't so intrigued, so not happy with it.
Oh, really?
What was the Silk Song came out and the price on that was quite low, and the game's quite long, so people pricing on games is now being given a good kick in the nuts. So
feels like pricing on games is giving us a kick in the nuts, to be honest with you. That's the only bad thing about next year, coming back and walking into the minefield trying to buy things for less than 50 quid.
This is what as soon as they take the disk drive or stop selling physical games, I will be instantly back on the PC, because the big advantage of games console gaming for me is either, well, obviously you've got your game passes and such, like they can make it worth it, but if any new games come out and they're trying to rip me for £70 and I cannot resell that game afterwards, that's the moment I say, I'll go to PC and I'll pay less for it, or I will have like a PlayStation Premium console, which will be literally just for playing the subscription, and that'll be it. I won't be buying any games. It'd have to be a phenomenally good game at a phenomenally good price, because that's the big advantage for me, is the reselling of the game. But if for example, put up the Death Stranding 2, you could probably pick that up second hand now for about 30 quid if you drop lucky, and you could probably play that, finish it, and maybe even resell it for like a little bit of a profit on top. But if you ask me to pay 70 quid day one, or 60 quid, whatever it was, I'm not going to do it. Full stop. It on principle, I'm not going to do it.
Couldn't agree more. Yeah, it's just a bit mental, really. Yeah. I mean, I said, I quite fancy the idea of a Series X purely because of that. I think is the fact that I can just get games again quite cheap off of eBay and stuff. If I want to play stuff, but I mean, the Series S does a great job. But the thing is, you are limited to having to buy it off of off of the Xbox store.
Yeah.
I mean, as long as I keep Game Pass, maybe it's a good investment still. But I mean, if the pricing on that sticks or goes up, then that could drive people to just ditching off Series S's and moving back towards that.
The Series S is a great little console as a Game Pass machine. I won't knock it in the slightest. And like I was saying, I bought Baldur's Gate some time around launch time. It was on like one of the key sites, and it was something like £17. That and Alan Wake 2, it was like 17 quid when they just came out, and they were very expensive at the time. And I bought it on that, and I played it on the Series X, and it's 60 frames per second. But I've got an Xbox Series S upstairs in the bedroom, but it's only 30 frames per second is Baldur's Gate on that particular console. But because it's kind of a slow moving game, if you go into your TV settings and you turn on, say, like the smooth motion settings, it balances out that 30 frames per second into like quite a smooth looking 60 frames per second. It's like a pseudo 60 frames per second. It takes away the judder, and it looks perfectly good. It's not so good if you were playing a super fast paced game. You put them smooth motion settings on it, just start to know some artifacting, and because it can't kind of keep up with itself. But yeah, for like a slower game, perfect. Alan Wake, that's another game that's perfectly fine for 30 frames per second. If you put the smooth motion settings on your TV, you turn it all the way up, so it's sort of like what's it called, interpolation or something.
Yeah,
as a name for it, where it's sort of like it does the frames or whatever. So, but yeah, absolutely
cool. Yeah, I mean, if it plays on something okay, then keep going with it. I mean, I've kind of got to that point now where it's like I could get a Series X. Do I really need one? I'd hold out. The same. I've got the same with Game Pass. I think Game Pass is what's going to keep me on the hook on wondering what the hell they're doing. I've got that coverage until the end of next year, and I'll make a decision based off that, I would imagine. So we'll see what happens. Cool. Well, I think does that cover you tell us? Does that cover us on the monthly games? I think it probably does, doesn't it? As you say, not an exciting one overall.
No, I think it could have been. Well, I don't know. I mean, I think the problem is this is during COVID. They spent a lot of money, didn't they, on hiring lots of people so they can get all these games pumped out there. And then I think they've come a bit of a cropper, really, in the respect of their, they employed all these extra staff, and now they don't really need them anymore. And now they'll have to like dump titles and all kinds of stuff. So it might be waiting really to another year or two before we start to see like nice big full schedules of AAA games. But there again, the problem is a AAA game. I remember we were talking about Grand Theft Auto 6 earlier. Listen, if someone told you it were going to cost $2 billion to make, you'd have laughed at them 10 years ago, right? This is don't talk stupid, you idiot. What you want about £2 billion? Well, how much? Some of these games, man, they cost hundreds of millions of pounds to make. It has to be, it has to be a surefire winner.
Offset, yeah. It's got to be offset by the price. Yeah. It's got to make sure it works. So
yeah. You get them bad launches, man. Ooh, the money that they must be losing on some of them titles. But then again, it's the same for cinema, right? They make good movies and bad movies, and it all evens out in the end. But some of these studios, they haven't got, say, 10 games in production to even out the bad ones amongst the good ones. Whereas a film company might have 10 different films coming out. 6 of them are good, 2 of them are big hits, a couple of them are flops. But they can't do that.
Yeah. One game we missed that came out is Arc Raiders that just came out.
Yeah, that was massive, didn't it?
We already talked about so that one. That's the only thing. Yeah. So what we got next?
We got. Is it question time? I think it's time for you as well, Brian. What is it? 10:15 there for you?
Yeah, we have to go for dinner soon. Luke on Facebook about Trek Yomi. Luke J. Knight had mentioned that he loved the game so much he got the collector's edition, the physical edition of it. And that's about. We had some questions. Thought about crap. From Stuart Ramage, do you have a favourite book that you consider would or did make a great game? He remembers finishing The Hobbit on his old 48K Spectrum, and it's also the first game he ever completed. It still amazes how close it was to the book. Can you think of any books that you'd like to see as a game?
I'll do this really quick. I don't really read enough / any books. I think kids' books, so with my children for like bedtime and stuff. Goodness, I mean,
I read a lot. I can't think of any.
Yeah, I mean, David Bunning's books sometimes have quite dark storylines, and it almost feels they would fit into kind of like almost a Little Nightmares sort of style of film or series sort of thing from the book side of it. I mean, there's some of them they do make into cartoons, but I can almost see it that stop motion animation for all of them sort of thing is how it would feel a little bit. But yeah, they're going to be too dark, obviously, and like nothing's to be over a 12+, I would imagine. But I think they'd have quite a nice dark edge of like platform or like a Telltale style game. I think that would be the only thing that really came to my mind straight away.
Yeah.
I remember two series, two books that was made into games, but these are quite old ones. And that was I don't know if you guys remember the fighting fantasy books, The Warlock of Firetop Mountain, which came out many years ago. One of them page turners where you kind of like start off on page 1 and it says if you want to make a decision, you go to page 46, you flick to page 46, so you might have to roll some dice to fight a monster. Then books were amazing. This is before kind of like games. It's kind of like really fueled, the imagination and the possibility of going on like an adventure. And they did make that into a game. I think they did a Spectrum version of some variety that wasn't very good, and they've later released the books into a game on Android and such like, and they work okay. But another one I remember that became a TV series, and it was a game at the time as well, which was The Growing Pains of Adrian Mole. I don't know if you remember which is a fantastic kids book. But like yourself, I don't read enough books, and if I do read a book, it's generally a biography of some variety. I like to kind of like read like a true life sort of thing. But I did play The Hobbit on the Spectrum as well. A fantastic game. I spent a lot of hours on it, not getting very far. And I do remember watching a YouTube on it, and some guy completed it. And I think if you know all the right ways to go, I think he did it and it wasn't like a speed run. Obviously, he knew where he was going, so technically it's a bit of a speed run, really. But he did it in about 16 minutes. But what I can remember back in 1983 when I played that seemed like a limitless open world adventure, that text adventure, The Hobbit. So yeah, I mean, how things have changed, but the imagination of a young person back then, it totally fed into it, did all the older games. And the covers as well on some of these games that they used to put out there. Man, yeah, amazing. I mean, a lot of the covers for them games as well were probably designed and made by the guys that were writing books, the book art people at the time. So it kind of like, you could see the crossover between games and books, especially with the covers. There's similar kind of fantasy art on the front. So yeah.
Yeah, books I can think of. I'd love to see Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy. To the Galaxy. Yeah, done with not the text. Is it currently out? So
yeah,
graphics, 3D graphics, quick. I'd love to see that world realized. Murderbot, which is a TV series. The season 1 is finished. I started with Fraser on the CL podcast mentioned the audiobook is really good. So I picked up the audiobooks. I've read 4 of them, or listened to 4 of them in the past month. The start I felt a bit weird listening to a different voice than the TV show, but it is quite good. The books are quite good. So I'd love to see that as a TV show, as a game. But I think that's about it, really. I can't think of any others.
It's a difficult one, it really was. It's one of those things you can normally think of an example based on not big that wall kind of thing. What do with it? It's like I don't think that like the Tiger that came to tea really works as a computer game, and that's kind of like kids' books and stuff I had to read in the past. But I don't really commit to novels. My wife does. She's going to answer this beautifully because she reads like 3-4 novels a month on a Kindle. But I mean, I just can't. What was the other one we had on there? Was it TV series or
Blair?
TVs to games, wasn't it?
Well, almost the same. Blair said that Blair Ferguson is giving the license to the Witcher and recent release of Halo, Fallout, and Twisted Metal. Is there any games you'd love to see? I believe would make it a good TV series, or life be turned into one? And is there any you feel they shouldn't go anywhere near, or wish they had left well known? Wish they had left well known. Probably Halo, the TV series I thought was dreadful. Started off good. Before I realised it was Halo, I was just watching a sci-fi I thought I could, and then it really went downhill. Was it second? They do 2 seasons. At the end of it, I thought it got really weird. I didn't like it. I can't think of a game that might be good as a TV series.
Although the Assassin's Creed movie didn't get the best reception, I watched it years after it being released, so I thought it was actually okay because I understood the hate for the movie. So I wasn't expecting a 10 out of 10 movie, I was expecting a 3 out of 10 movie, but really I got a 7 out of 10 movie. But that, because it's a bit of a time traveling thing, is the Assassin's Creed, and the dark nature behind the character, and he's going around sort of like, rescuing situations and time traveling around. That could actually make quite a good one. I don't think anyone would be kind of keen to invest in it based on the Assassin's Creed movie being such a loss financially. But I think it could make a good TV series. There's enough different time zones in it where they can flip around, do different things. There's a lot to be had out of that, really.
Yeah, they could make it quite complex, pulling not just one game, but go from 2 or 3 games and pull them all together as a narrative. That'd be quite good.
On the game in my head is Scotland.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
But
great
they-
TV show.
yeah.
Things like that. Sort of idea of
Did you
jumping
watch
around
the
everywhere.
recent version?
No.
Has anybody seen that? No, I've not seen that either.
No, I've not
It's-
seen it.
I can't remember. My only thing I could think of was like kind of, I don't know if it's been considered already recently, was Streets of Rage on the Mega Drive. There was always a thing of that'd be quite a good series in my head. I don't understand why, with it being like a good versus evil, cops and Mr. X, the big boss and stuff like that. It's probably been made in 50 billion different ways for different series, but I thought that was quite cool. The reason it came straight to my mind is if you look at the Japanese front cover for Streets of Rage 2, which is Bare Knuckles 2 in Japan, the main character is completely ripped off from Jean-Claude Van Damme, so he should definitely play the lead role in it.
Yeah. Doing the signature splits, that'd be quite cool. Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things I think you fit quite well into. I say that he did
Yeah,
Street
big-
Fighter and it went terribly, so
And the last question was one I put in the group saying that's there. What was it? Do any of you game on your phone? Oh, what you're on
the first one
the
that for?
I used to game on
Right.
the phone, but not quite in the respect of playing the apps or offers that are kind of in the Google store. I'd used it for streaming before streaming was kind of popular, before the Steam Deck came out. I used to have like it's kind of like a controller, but you could like pull it out to probably big enough to even put a tablet in there, like an 8-inch tablet. And that used to work really well. You used to get a bit of lag on the Bluetooth and obviously get a little bit lag from streaming as well. And that used to work really well. So yeah, I used to quite enjoy. I'd be happy to do gaming on there, but I haven't actually been playing the games from the store, which I suppose are really like a totally different bunch of games, aren't there?
There's tons on there, isn't there? That's the problem. They're all mini game type things, I suppose. Really, it's kind of some of the games have moved across to it. They brought Wreckfest out on it a couple of years ago on Android, and I tried to play that, and it actually plays okay, unbelievably. But obviously, you are doing the whole kind of thumb things, and you can't. I used to have one of those things. I had a Razer key sheet, whatever it is, the thing that split apart to go around your phone that was USB-C. But there's the games on there. There's loads of games that just wouldn't accept it existed. They wouldn't treat it as a Bluetooth or connected controller. So that made it a bit more difficult, really. I don't think anything else I played on it was it's all stupid stuff like wordscapes and things like that. I end up getting dragged into in Words with Friends. I don't think I've ever really taken the phone as being a games machine. I know when there was Unreal Games or something came out years ago, the iPhone was the first one to do it with kind of a sword wielding game, and then that sort of era. I can remember playing stuff, but I can't remember being too many games I've tried to play on it. I know there are mobile versions of stuff, but I've never wanted to. I just rather play on a handheld console.
But allegedly, I think Death Stranding has been released on Android or on iPhone, one or the other, or maybe even both. So, which is, you get into a point really where, I mean, they're big games, but sometimes the problem can be with some of these big games is that they are kind of a big price. You might as well buy it on PlayStation. It could be cheaper to buy on PlayStation because it's been out on PlayStation for so long that you might as well just, pay like by £12 second user copy really and go from there.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, it can be expensive gaming on there, but it is generally more Words with Friends, that kind of thing is what I used to mainly. It's a sort of thing you can pick up in between doing other things. You might be cooking something and you've got like a couple of minutes in between doing this or that. You do a couple of goes of Words with Friends. Yeah, I used to play Word Feud. I preferred Word Feud. That used to be
I did that as well,
quite
yeah.
good. Yeah, excellent game. No, brilliant. I even
looked at my
paid for
phone.
it.
You did?
I paid for it, but I think it was only something like £1.29 or something. And it was well worth it. The amount of hours I got out of that thing were amazing.
Oh, I had my
I think I've got
Pokemon Go
22
phase
games.
as well. Forgot about Pokemon Go.
Yeah. I've 22 games on my phone and I don't play any. I did play Coffee Golf a lot. I introduced that to the Facebook group and to a lot of people, but since that, I got fed up with that. I haven't really played any. I've got Balatro. I bought that just before end of December, but I've played it maybe 3 times since the year. But that's about it for me. Working on the phone. Was it Stuart Ramage said there's a clear distinction of usually between his phone, tablets, PC, and consoles. And Stuart Whitehouse, yeah, just bloody Balatro, so addictive. And I liked about it. It's a paid for game. None of this crap reaches a race to the bottom. You get what you pay for. Yeah, so he's right there.
I mean,
Go on.
I would say we're clearly spoiled, right? Because we've got a games console, etc. But perhaps if that was your only source of gaming, which is possibly in some countries and such, like, it might be a choice between having a nice phone or a console, then, it is a true multimedia device, isn't it? The phone, really.
Yeah, it is completely. I mean, I think the problem is, you say with us being spoiled, I don't look what comes out on a phone anymore. I mean, I use Play Store to go and get a heart rate monitor or a piece of like photo editing stuff or a 3D barcode scanner. That's what I use Play Store for. I don't go and look at the games for any reason like that at all. I think the last thing I downloaded it was a race simulator app that I can turn my phone and my tablet into a race dash that then clicks on top of my G29 steering wheel. I downloaded that. I think that's the last one. So it's purely necessity rather than it actually being a want to do it.
Yeah. I played Monument Valley about 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
I'm stuck in a waiting room, but that's about the last game I've played, and maybe months before that since I last played a game.
That is a good game. It's a good game. I enjoyed Monument Valley when I played it probably maybe 12 years ago or something. I think it first came out. It's quite an oldish game. Although they do Monument Valley 1, 2, and 3, I think now.
I think I've got Monument Valley 2 as well on my phone, but I've not opened it yet. It's just for me, a lot of the games I picked up because Google used to give away money on the app. You do surveys or something.
Surveys.
Yeah, survey stuff was really good, wasn't it?
Yeah. It doesn't work over here. I don't know if it exists anymore. But yeah.
No, same as disappeared. Think it's anything now.
Yeah.
I've got a question as well.
Yeah.
Now, this is a term I've not heard of, so perhaps I've just been living under a rock for too long. I'm not too sure yet. Now, have you ever heard of this term? I'd never heard of it before. Shrimping.
No.
Oh God, I'm worried. I've not heard of it.
Well, I'll say...
Somebody put shrimps under someone's carpet before you move out because you hate them. No.
that'd be a really terrible thing to do. The cats would probably, if they've got a cat, the cat would be happy. But yeah. But no, shrimping. It's a term I never heard of, and you always assumed, shrimping, like that's surely got some kind of sexual connotation to it. Do I do shrimping or do I do shrimping? You know, what's going on here? And I was surprised to learn, and oddly enough, I definitely do it. And Brian, I can't quite see the angle. You might be doing it, so you might be shrimping right now. Too sure. And Ben, you might be shrimping. I'm not too sure. So, and what it actually is the way that you angle yourself over the desk like a shrimp. You know, like often like you're like this.
Oh yeah.
And that's it's all to do with posture. So shrimping, is a term. If you take a look online, it shows you like shrimps at desks and how you're all sort of hanging over the desks. And now it's just one I've never heard of before. I was surprised that it had no, dodgy connotations. And I am definitely guilty of shrimping.
Yeah, shrimping ain't easy. You've got a bad back as well.
Whoever's listening,
do
not look that word up on the Urban Dictionary because it means something totally different.
That is totally different, Nevin. There you go. So it has a dual meaning.
Totally different. Oh, God.
This is not a word Google search, people.
That's definitely for posture. Mine was definitely for posture. So if I've offended anybody, right? Because they accused you, I'm better do it.
He's gone bright red. What's happened?
There's posture. Trust me, that's all I was in. Listen to it.
Where there's like all the internet. Oh my fucking God. It's got to do with taking a straw. It's like something at somebody else's something after somebody's something in the something.
I thought I'd found like a clean internet term. Honestly, but it's not. It's soiled, isn't it? Like every other word on the internet, soiled.
Yeah, and so the world becomes again that nothing is indeed sacred. So
yeah.
Oh God, oh my, yeah. Oh, Jesus, no.
Yeah.
That is.
I'd like to say thanks for sharing, but I'm not quite sure.
Yeah. But honestly, it is with posture. If you look it up, there's plenty of pictures of a shrimp at a desk.
Well, I want to know is who's behind the shrimp and what are they doing?
Yeah.
That's just do not look that up anybody. Where is Messenger?
It's no good looking at through there.
There you go. The definitions in the group.
Fantastic.
Again, not sure to say thank you or not. So.
But oh my God, I wish I hadn't looked that up.
Oh, that's something to my day. I'm not sure what that is, to be honest, but there's something to it.
Okay. Yeah. Anyway,
quick, move on, quick.
I guess we've got to do the game of the month as well. Whatever we're playing,
Yeah.
I think we're down to like 2 games maybe now.
There's 5 on there, but I have completed one.
Oh, wow.
So sorry. It says Minecraft Dungeons, which quite frankly, if it comes up again, I am still playing it, and I recommend you do because it's great. So we should leave it on there anyway. So what have we got? We've got Detroit Becoming Human, Minecraft Dungeons, Overcooked, and Sackboy's Big Adventure still left in.
Okay, cool.
So I shall.
that sounds like a really dodgy name as well.
What's that? Sackboy's Big Adventure.
Boy, yeah.
As I thought, sat in a
What was
boardroom
that?
with Tony now going, shit.
What was that character in Viz?
Johnny
Those were-
Big Bollocks or whatever.
Yeah,
Johnny something Gonads, wasn't it? What was his name now?
Buster Gonads.
Buster Gonads, yeah.
But it actually came round to Sackboy because it went slightly past into the next thing. I thought it was going to be Detroit for a minute, but it is Sackboy.
Oh, very
Sackboy.
good.
So I should remove that from the list.
I've played a little bit of that. It's actually fun as long as it doesn't overstay its welcome, because it seemed a little samey. But I was enjoying it when I played it, in some hilarious moments where you got to hold on to things. He's like spinning round and spinning round. So yeah.
Cool. I look forward to it.
Right, so we just literally got that. So that gives us overcooked to Minecraft Dungeons or Detroit Becoming Human. And that's cool. Okay,
Cool.
episode we are officially signed. Cool. Eventually, which is also starting buying Astrobot for a bit on the 1st of January because I'll be playing through that.
Yeah. Now, what's next? Housekeeping?
I believe so.
Yeah. Okay, so we can start the housekeeping here,
Thank you.
and that'll. And was it good boy? Good boys. Good boys. Who's a good boy?
You need to go to bed, don't you, mate?
I don't think. I've been since 2 o'clock. It must be 8 hours ago, 9 hours ago, and I bed straight after.
One thing you got to drop into there, I think, on top of everything else. Oh, sorry, carry on.
Yeah,
you go first.
I was going to say yesterday. I dismantled 2 beds, replaced them, built 2 new beds, and the muscles in my legs are sore from being on my knees trying to put things together. So getting up, once I get up of this chair, I don't think I'm going to sit down again. Hate my muscles.
Fall flat onto bed when you get there instead. Don't bend anything.
That's it. Yeah.
One thing I want to say about is everybody, if you are listening, we are now 30 days away from the end of the year, and we have survived this, and you can see we haven't gone too far insane. So please, if you're interested in doing a Year of Shame next year, please do jump on board or drop a message to one of us or send us a letter with a stamped addressed envelope or something like that, and let us know if you'd like to be part of the crew for next year. I think we've all said it before, and we've all said in different posts, it's great fun. It's been a really good laugh, and it is a very, very good way to make some of your money as well you spent on games and realize ones you never had. So definitely worthwhile.
Exactly. Yeah, and it's not difficult. You can see we did it, so you don't have to be too professional.
It's just like going. It's just like going on a diet. Once you're over the first week or so, it's plain sailing, really.
However, I've done better at this than I've done at every diet I've ever done. So, I mean,
me too. Yeah. Okay.
Good stuff. Right, we should let Brian get to bed, being so it's basically the night for him, and I need to go swimming and have some lunch. Not at the same time because my food will get wet. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. So I'll say goodbye. Goodbye, everybody. I hope you enjoyed listening to this. And apologies if you didn't. See you next time.
All right, yeah, absolutely. See you soon. Bye.
See you later. Take care, guys.
See you. Bye. Okay, socials. Email yearofshame@gmail.com. Twitter, if you're still there, @yearofshame. Blue Sky, @yearofshame.bsky.social. Just search Year of Shame as one word. Twitch, Year of Shame. Facebook, Year of Shame as a group. And we're on YouTube @MLGYOS because somebody got tired of typing Year of Shame. Okay, talk to you later.